No team has ever come back from 2-0 down to win a 5-match T20 series. Are England about to become the first to do so? They look down and out at the midway point of the third match, set 223 to win the game, and they did so with a ball to spare. Phil Salt then followed up his century in that game with another in Trinidad 2 days ago, and it's Trinidad that we still find ourselves here on TalkSport 2. I'm John Norman, and alongside Michelle St Patrick Hewitt and the former England fast bowlers Alex Tudor and Steve Harmison, delighted to bring you a decider, a T20 decider which followed the ODI decider. So we've certainly got lucky here, or fortunate with this West Indies series over the last 3 weeks ago. It's live, it's exclusive, and it's on TalkSport 2 and via the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. I'm just going to click on there to see if any of Michelle's fans have arrived. Well, we'll wait and see, because Michelle hasn't been the happiest of chaps over the last 24 hours. The West Indies naming their test squad for the Australia tour. We're going to get reaction to that and find out a little bit about 7 of the uncapped players that have been named. But first things first, we need to find out who's won the toss. We can head to the middle now with Samu Badri is with the captains.
Is the day series on the line. The captains are here. Rovman Powell out of the West Indies, Jos Buttler, captain of England, and the ever charming Sir Richie Richardson is here to oversee proceedings. Rovman, you've got the coin?
Heads.
Heads is the call. Confirmation that it's a tails. Rovman, you've won the toss. What are you going to do first and why?
We're going to bowl first. You know, it looks a pretty good wicket. Hopefully today our bowlers can restrict the English batters.
If you're a West Indian fan, agonizing and painful to look at that last performance, how do you regroup as a bowling group having conceded that many?
Yeah, it was very disappointing. You know, 216 a T20 game is very honourable. I think we have sat down over the last 24 hours or so and come up with some different plans.
Ignominious record of having a batter score consecutive T20 centuries against you. What's the plan today to desalinate Phil Salt?
Sometimes I wonder why guys always breaking records against us. You know, but having said that, you know, we're trying our best to minimize his boundary count. You know, he's have a very high boundary count, especially in the 6th department against us. And if we can stop him from hitting sixes, then hopefully that can keep him quiet.
Any changes to your playing 11 then?
Yeah, we have 2 change. Kyle Myers out, Johnson Charles in, O'Shane Thomas in, and young Matthew Ford is out.
Series on the line, all the very best, Rovman. Just if you can make your way here, happy to bat first again?
Yeah, we would have looked at Chase as well, probably for the same reasons Rovman said, but yeah, obviously the last game was a good one batting first, so try and replicate that.
2-0 down, 2-all at this stage. It has been a remarkable resurgence, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's been a great series. It's been a really good one to watch. It's been exciting. Lots of sixes hit. So it's been entertaining. And it's great that there's 2-2 going into the last one.
And what are you hoping for in this one from your batting group? Replicate that again?
Yeah, I think try and carry on that momentum. Yeah, I realise we start on naught again, so we have to work hard and earn the right, as you do in every game. But try and continue that confidence. The boys are having fun and enjoying their game, so try and get out there and put on a show.
Just a little start. No team has come from 2-0 down in a 5-match series among full member nations to win. But given the nature of those 2 last victories, advantage England?
Yeah, look, we're confident. But, you know, T20 is one of those games that takes 1 or 2 guys on either side to stand up and try and win the game. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's nice to be in a sort of knockout final situation.
Do you change that winning team?
No, we're going with the same team today.
Figured as much. All the very best today, Joss. And there you have it, folks. The news from out in the middle. West Indies, they've won the toss and have decided to bowl first.
Wow, Samu Badri with the questions. Desalinate Phil Salt. That's out the top drawer. Well, first things first, no real surprise. I think we said that, didn't we, after the 4th T20, that both sides would look to bowl first. That is what the West Indies have done. And Rovman Powell, Michelle, has said they're going to try a few new things when they're bowling to Phil Salt. What new things do you think that we're going to see in the T20 today?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Tudes and Harmy react to this and if they've got a similar idea here. But for a start, you've got to cramp him up. I just don't think in the fourth T20, it was hard to see what the plan was from the batters, or if they had one, I think it unravelled very quickly once things didn't go right and they didn't know how to readapt to bowling, whether the right lines or the right lengths on the pitch, etc. So, as we kind of said at the end of the fourth T20, the reality is here. As much as the right thing to do is to bowl and try and chase, but you've got to get in, from a West Indian perspective, they've got to get into the opening three. They've allowed Salt and Buttler. Josh Buttler has played himself back into form. Phil Salt's having the time of his life, and they have to put England under pressure. If Phil Salt and Josh Buttler lay a platform, you can guarantee that one of Jax, Livingston, Brooke, we haven't even spoken about mowing with the bat yet, but one of Jax, Livingston and Brooke will cash in at the back end. So it's pretty clear to me where this match, where the kind of critical point of this match lies in terms of the West Indies being able to have a chance, but they've got to bowl infinitely better in order for that to happen.
You go with that, Tudes?
Yeah, I do. I've just not been happy really with the bowling element. Listen, it's been fantastic watching, if you like, sixes and boundaries all over the place, but I think sometimes you've just got to turn up on the day, assess the wicket and bowl accordingly. I just think sometimes as a bowler you get caught up in all these slower balls and stuff like that. I've not seen enough Yorkers. You look around the world and see who the best bowlers are. It's always the bowlers. You look at Stark. What does he do at the death, or what does he do more often than not in T20 cricket? He bowls the Yorker. Bumrah, Yorker. Nokia, they don't mess around with too many slower balls. And I just think there's been a little bit of that, and the wicket out in Trinidad hasn't been conducive to that because it's stood up, and these gentlemen now are far too big, too strong. Even miss hits are carrying over the boundary. So, you know, you have to assess the wicket a little bit quicker and just bowl. Sometimes just back of the length, boring old back of the length in a T20 game is sometimes good enough, and I've just not seen enough of that. And I want to, hopefully that's the plan I want to see on both sides today, make the batsmen earn their runs.
Yeah, I'll go along with that. The thing I would to add on to what the boys have been saying is that Phil Salt and Josh Buttler have come out in 3 out of the 4 games have put a good first wicket partnership on. So if Rothman Powell, and by the way, I love listening to Rothman Powell. I could listen to him all day. I think his accent's brilliant. I think the way he speaks, the realism, no cliches, no nothing. He just seems a good man. Love to go for a beer with. Me thinking of beer again. But he says we've been changing plans. We've been making plans. For me, you've got to get him out. So who's my best 2 bowlers? If I was in a test match now and going 1 slip, probably can't go 2 slips, but go 1 slip on this surface, I'd go with O'Shane Thomas and Jason Holder. Jason Holder, first over, I've got to get him out. Not Moti to try and get through and over, as Keel is saying, to try and get an over. If you give Josh Buttler 6 balls to get in, he's going to get 51 off 34, he's going to get 55 off 29. If not, more like what Phil Salt's done. So for me, if I was in that camp, you know, with Darren Sammy and James Franklin, I'd be saying, right, can I put a slip in? Can I run up and hit the top of off stump? Can they hit me for 6 very first ball? And can I try and put, like Trude's just mentioned, hit a length, test match pressure, and try and get the ball to move? The first 3 overs is when the ball moves the most in white ball cricket, with 1 white ball. How to get that into a wicket? For me, give Holder the first over, I'd give O'Shane Thomas the second over, and say, right, I'm going to have 1 slip, I'm going to try and nick him off. And that would take away the advantage of England's start, because you've seen in the second game, Salt got 25, Buttler got 5, and you know Sam Curran was the only one that got 50, but they got nowhere near the game. And that's the only game really where England haven't gotten off to a good start.
Well, in the first 3 T20s, actually the first 4 T20s, Hussain has bowled 1 of the first 2 overs. Jason Holder has bowled 1 of the first 2 overs in the first 3 matches, but of course Matthew Ford did that, and he's been dropped today. That was in the 4th T20. Plenty to discuss, to look at, to look ahead to. But first off, let's head back out to the middle. Sam Ellard has caught up with both captains.
England have been so good with the bat in the last couple of games. What are you looking to do differently today with the ball to try and restrict them?
Yeah, they are a world-class team. No doubt about that with world-class players. All we're trying to do now is just to try to take the ball away from them. A lot of the balls that we serve up in the game was in their hack, was in the spot that they like it. So we're trying our best to take the ball away from them a little bit more today.
2 changes today. What are those changes and what are the thinking behind those changes?
Johnson Charles comes in for Kyle Mayers. Kyle Mayers have struggled a little bit up top, and also we have struggled in the bowling department, so we bring a new fast bowler in, O'Shane Thomas, for Matthew Ford.
Yeah, he's looked really quick, O'Shane, in just seeing him here in the warm-ups. What's he going to bring to this team other than pace?
Yeah, he should bring some energy. It's his first game of the series, so he should bring some energy. He should be fresh, and hopefully he can give us a few early ones.
Good luck, Rodman.
Thanks, man.
And the England captain, Jos Buttler's also joined me here. Hi, Jos. Good afternoon. You haven't won the toss. If you did, though, what would you have done, and how are you expecting this wicket to play today?
Yeah, I would have looked to chase as well. I think it's obviously played better than we thought the other day. I imagine it's going to be a really good wicket. But start on Nord again and look forward to a good game.
It's been 2 really impressive victories from your side. What's impressed you the most?
Yeah, I think the character and the freedom we've played with, obviously, to sort of take the pressure in that chase the first time, and then the way the freedom and expression we played. Phil Salt's obviously been amazing, back-to-back hundreds, so that's brilliant, and we need to carry that on today.
No side has ever, Joss, in a 5-match T20 series come from 2-0 down to win 3-2. If you were able to do that, how much confidence would it give this group of lads, especially with the World Cup in this country not too far away?
Yeah, a huge amount of confidence, obviously, against the top team as well. But yeah, it's been a great series. It's been entertaining. There's been lots of sixes hit. Great to go into a decider and play what looks as a final in this series.
It is important, isn't it? Of course, England have come here. The real prize takes place in 6 months' time. We know that, but it would just put a few little rumblings to bed, wouldn't it, Harmy? We've spoken about it today on a following on show that's going to go out on the 27th. Matthew Mott's immediate future has been under some scrutiny. Personally, I don't really think that that's justified. I don't think it's realistic, but a 3-2 win here knocks that notion on its head. We can all get back to what we're doing, and we know that this team is going to be led by these people, captained by this bloke, and we know Phil Salt will be opening the batting come that first T20 in the West Indies in June. Yeah,
there was a huge question mark on, right, which players are going to come back in. So you're looking at Wood, Archer, Bairstow, Stokes. There's one more and I can't remember who it is. I think that might be it.
Wood, Archer, Bairstow, Stokes.
So I think that might be the 4 that's going to come in. So you go with what's here, and you'd say Butler's a definite, Livingston's probably a definite, Brooks a definite, Ali, Curran, Ahmed, Rashid definitely, Topley. So you go that, and then you're still worrying about, is it Salt or is it Jacks to open a baton? I think Phil Salt's nailed that one down. Then you go on to Matthew Mott and Jos Buttler, and there are rumblings because England had a debacle of a World Cup. It was a shocker, and they can't get away from that. England were poor during the World Cup. Decision making, team selections, tosses, all that comes under Mott and Buttler. But I sometimes feel sorry for Matthew Mott, because Matthew Mott can't win in this situation. He can't. No matter what happens, ECB, led by Rob Key, who's played a blinder from the minute he's walked in the door. Played a blinder, untouchable. Nobody in the media is going to have a go at Kesey. Everybody loves him, brilliant. Nobody's going to have a go at Stokes. Nobody's going to have a go at McCullum. Jos Buttler's the best white ball cricketer we've ever produced. He's took a little bit, and I think rightly so, because tactically I think he has been a little bit caught short. But I also flip that over and say some of the decisions he's made haven't been backed up by the players who have been trusted to sort of execute them decisions. The one man that's missing here is a very, very quiet, unassuming character who, when England aren't doing well, can easily be got at. And for me, that's Matthew Mott. Everybody wants Andrew Flintoff to be the next white ball coach after having no coaching. He's literally just come off 10 years off the TV. Nobody more than me would want Freddie to be in charge of the white ball team, because I think he could do it and do it not a problem. But I think there needs to be an earn the right and a progression to move into that. I don't think Matthew Mott's disappointing World Cup or first 2 games in this series should warrant the call for his head, even though they've got the clamour of people wanting, because the sea Andrew Flintoff back involved. You know, that's for further down the line. That is for further down the line. But I think he's an easy target for me, Matthew Mott, for criticism.
Let's hear now from the England head coach Matthew Mott, because after a difficult winter for the White Ball side, England of course have now won back-to-back games ahead of tonight's series decider. He's been speaking with Sam Ellard, reflecting on a successful few years for his players.
I just think more importantly, regardless of the results, it's been great to see the guys get their mojo back and go out and play with that freedom that we've sort of talked about for a little while, but you don't really get that until you go out and do it. Really impressed, obviously, with Phil Salt, the way he's gone about it, back-to-back hundreds. You know, a one-off 100 is a great effort, but to back it up shows just how hungry he is to do well and embodies what we're trying to do as a team. So it's very exciting.
It's funny in sport how people's opinions and everyone's sort of where their heads at can change so quickly. You know, a couple of defeats you're like that, a couple of wins you're like, it feels like now everyone's like, hang on a minute. You bring Archer into this team, you bring Stokes into this team, we're going to win the World Cup. Has it felt like the mood's changed in the camp over the last couple of days, or have you sort of maintained that spirits have been quite high despite results maybe not going away?
Yeah, I think you know, a lot of people speculated because of the World Cup that we had that there was a carryover, but this is a very different group at the moment, and you know, there's a lot of players with not a lot of caps, so they're just out there really hungry to perform and impress and show what they can do, and that's been the most pleasing thing. And you know, when we lost the first couple of games, of course the dressing room was a bit flat, as you do in professional sport. When you don't achieve what you've set out to achieve, you know, you're disappointed, but what you've got to do is lift your eyes up, look at the horizon and sort of find out where you want to go. And I think we've had some great voices around the group that have, you know, played and watched a lot of cricket and maintained that perspective and made sure the players kept believing in their own game and had the freedom to go out and really execute what they've done. So what we've sort of got to in the group at the moment is a realisation of how we want to play the game.
How valuable have these last few weeks been, though, as a whole, results aside, sort of having 5 matches here and obviously some ODIs as well in the country where you're going to play a World Cup in 6 months' time? Has this been a couple of weeks that's going to stand you in really good stead ahead of that World Cup? Yeah,
I think it's been priceless, to be honest. I think every time you get to a ground or whatever, you got stats on the ground and stuff like that. And what we've realised is, you know, the way the game has been played in this series from both teams is you almost got to throw the rule book out. You know, it's been, you know, incredible amount of sixes hit. It's a different style of game to, you know, where we won the World Cup in Australia 18 months ago. So we've had that ability now to see what the conditions are like. Tournament plays a little bit different. Not every team will play like the West Indies, but those sort of experiences leading into a World Cup is something you can talk about, you can prepare for, but until you've experienced it, you have no idea.
Matthew Mott speaking with Sam Ellard there. We're about 5 minutes away from the first ball in Tarouba, where England and West Indies will go head-to-head, 2 apiece with this final match to play. I'm sitting alongside Michelle St Patrick Hewitt, Steve Thompson and Alex Tudor. I just want to talk to you, Michelle, though, before we get underway with the T20 stuff. West Indies announced their squad for the Test series, if you can call it a 2-match Test series, A series, I don't know, but 7 uncapped players, no Jason Holder. What's happened to Shai Hope? He wasn't even mentioned. He wasn't in the side, and he wasn't mentioned as not playing. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I love my cricket. I did not know, I'd say 4 of the names of the 7 brought in. So your thoughts, if you can sum that up in the next 2 minutes.
I was going to say 2 minutes is nowhere near enough, but suffice to say, Shai Hope is playing in the Bangladesh Premier League. Jason Holder wants to play in the international one. Carl Mayers, I think, is playing in that international one. Brandon King is playing in the Bangladesh Premier League. Darren Bravo has refused to play for the West Indies because of not being selected for the ODI series, we think. So that's left West Indies effectively scraping the barrel, so to speak, to see, well, who does want to play for the West Indies. And I've had a few conversations with Tudes and Harmy about this. I think this is just a signpost of, unfortunately, where the world game is going for the smaller sides, and that Test series versus Australia could be quite bruising from a West Indian perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. West Indies, of course, will be in England the summer. They'll be playing. They're playing in July, right?
Yes.
So there's no obvious clash at that point. So we might see some of those names back.
You would hope so. That's
we
the plan.
shall see. Anyway, I've got it out of the system, so you know we can put that one to bed for a while. let's sit back, let's relax, let's enjoy the spectacle that's about to be brought to you. Commentary, live and exclusive here on TalkSport 2 of the fifth and final T20 between West Indies and England. Two new faces for the West Indies with Johnson Charles and O'Shane Thomas coming into the side. England unchanged following that 75-run win 2 days ago. West Indies have won the toss. They're going to have a bowl. It'll be Phil Salt and Josh Butler, and behind the mic it'll be Steve Harmison and Michelle St Patrick Hewitt.
Indeed. So here we are, the decider, the long-awaited decider. Harmy and I had a big conversation about this before the series started. I went for West Indies, naturally. Harmy went for England. Now we get to see who will indeed win this particular series. Harmy, in game 4, you said that, well, actually, probably for both sides, you said both sides kind of, but more so West Indies, needed to bang the ball in. Now, West Indies have called O'Shane Thomas in for his first game of the series. He definitely is that type of bowler. Do you expect, well, provided he gets his line right, do you expect him to have some success?
Yeah, I expect him to cause a different problem. The one thing I was going to say, I'm pleased you mentioned O'Shane Thomas there, Mash, because I've just seen a picture of him as he runs onto the field. And what I want to know, question to you is, has he lost weight? He looks as though he's trimmed down. Look, the big, I mean this with all due respect, the big lump that we seen in 2020 when we were out there, 2019 when we were out there and he was bowling in the lunchtime and the tea time breaks. He looks as though he's lost what looks like that, the sort of heaviness, but sort of kept his stature and frame. He looks as though he's lean. And that for me would help him a hell of a lot when it comes to his sort of consistency and his accuracy when it comes to his bowling. But I think he brings a different dimension to this bowling attack. A bowling attack that if they did want to hit the pitch hard, if they did want to go ultra aggressive and utilise a short ball with men out on either side of the wicket, fine leg back, third back, deep point, deep backward square, and go really aggressive, then they've got somebody who can do it, not somebody who is trying to do it, but it's not their natural skill.
Yeah, O'Shane has been with the squad now since the summer for the India series. He didn't play any games in that India series, but he was with the squad, and I think that's important sometimes, that you show a player you're investing in them by just bringing them along. And as you say, you can see it in his face even that he's slimmed down, and I know he's been on a special kind of diet to help with that. They've been obviously working on his fitness, his strength and conditioning. The only thing I would say, and it will be interesting, again, we'll see how he goes today, is I still have concerns about his running. I don't think it's smooth. But it's Andre Russell who will take the new ball, and he's straight on the money. Phil Salt tucks that into the leg side for one, and we are on the way. So just finishing that point about O'Shane, how his run-up is jerky, but obviously you're a fast bowler. Does that matter?
I think it matters if your last two strides and your delivery stride is jerky. What I mean by is if you're inconsistent in them 3 strides, as you go past the umpire, if that is jerky, if that's inconsistent, then you are naturally going to be inconsistent. It doesn't have to be as smooth.
Andre Russell back in, Josh Butler on strike, and Josh Butler defends that one, treats that one with respect, defends it back down the track. And speaking of Butler and Salt, they have been certainly in the last T20, even probably the one before that, they're quite watchful for the first few balls. But I think you said in the build-up that if you give, or it might have been Chews actually, you said in the build-up that if you give Butler time to just see what the pitch is saying, before you know it, he'll be 30 off 10. So.
Yeah, for me, that's why you've got to try and get these two out before they get going.
Russell again loses his line a bit, and that's just helped. That's helped fine by Josh Butler for 4 runs.
It's been good by Butler this. He's come down the wicket. He's gone at Andre Russell. And again, England, making the right decision. It was I wouldn't say it was a poor ball, because I think Russell seen Butler coming, so you either go full or you go short. And when he went short, he just not only dragged his sort of the ball short, he dragged it wide, and it was a poor ball with fine leg inside the circle. But England are seeing the most expensive bowler in the series so far.
It's a bit better from Russell there. Hurries Josh up a bit. Just wanted to tuck that. into the leg side, but got to him a bit quicker than he expected.
The most expensive bowler on show from the West Indies point of view has been Andre Russell, not used to bowling 4 overs time after time after time, and he's had to do that the majority of the time in this series. So I think it's a good plan by the West Indies to try and get Russell into the game early, try and utilise one of his old overs and get it out the way early while England's batters are trying to set themselves. But I think England have got to come at him.
5th ball of the over, and again this is straight, bit of a strangled appeal. It's likely going down the leg side, but it's good stuff from Andre Russell. There's 3 dot balls in the over. The other reason why they may have gone for Dre at the top, Harmy, is because he's actually probably one of their quicker bowlers as well. Andre Russell can bowl deceptively quickly. He can clock 140 when needs be. And maybe this is a plan to, well, depends who takes the new ball with him, but see if their plan is to go quick up top, but we'll see. Final ball of the first over, and this is a bit wideish on like 5th stump line, but Jos Buttler cannot beat Akil Hussain, who is stationed at extra cover, and that will be the end of the over. 5 runs off the first over. England 5 without loss. Phil Salt is on 1, Jos Buttler on 4.
And Match, a bit like what I was saying a bit earlier about utilising the movement. That 5th ball of the over, the LBWs shout that Russell and the West Indies had Nicholas Pooran straight away going down because it did too much. It nipped back. So if you have got pace, you can use a little bit of inconsistencies of the surface, which is natural variation, and you get the odd little bit of movement. Then all of a sudden it just puts a little bit of doubt into obviously 2 batters' minds who are in ridiculous form. But if you go on what's happened in the past, they've bowled with Moti, they've bowled with Akil Hussain in the first over. They've gone for 5, and then they've given him a chance, Butler a chance to get themselves set and get themselves in. You've still got the 2 spinners with 8 overs up their sleeve, and you've got an over out of one of your most experienced bowlers. And for me, this is a good move, trying to get the wicket in the power play, not just trying to get through the 6.
Yeah, we thought it might be O'Shane Thomas who shares new ball. It is. Kind of know what he's going to do. It's a leaner O'Shane Thomas, and Jos Buttler just leans into that first ball. Drive through extra cover. Oh, not Jos Buttler, sorry, that's Phil Salt. Drives for extra cover for 4 runs.
Great
Ominous
shot.
signs.
Yeah, good shot. Overpitched from O'Shane Thomas. Don't mind it though. Don't mind it. He's got the seam bowled up right. He's going to try and... It looked as though he had the seam sort of canted in there. So with a first slip in play, extra cover is not quite catching, but he's in. But he's pitched it up to try and see if he can get it to swing. We'll try and catch the outside edge.
O'Shane in again. This one's straighter. Phil Salt can only find Andre Russell, who's stationed at gully. There'll be no run there. So yeah, just I'm intrigued. Obviously, when Tudes comes on as well later, what you make of O'Shane's new, because they have worked on him a lot for the last 6 months. They've almost what do I want to say here? They've reconfigured his approach to the crease, his diet, his conditioning. But you can get leaner as a fast bowler, but that's just one element. That's just one element of the game. So
yeah, you can get leaner, but sometimes that can go against you.
O'Shane again, and again, good ball pitched up, and Phil Salt works that, just down past point for 1.
Mash, you can get somebody trim, you can teach somebody a good action. The one thing you're either a natural runner or you're not. I was somebody who was quite a natural runner. I was a multi-sport, so I was quite natural runner, changing direction, stuff like that. But so when it comes to your running technique, sometimes you can't teach somebody a running technique. You can't make somebody a 100-meter sprinter. You can't give somebody a fluid run up.
This one bounces a bit more, and Jos Buttler is able to swivel on that one. In fact, he may even get 4 runs for it. He does. This Shea Holt who's down there on the mid-wicket boundary, but Jos Buttler just swivels, uses the pace, and that's another 4 runs for England.
I think you can see the slowness because it wasn't a bad height. Shane Thomas got the ball to around about head high. It was probably a touch wide of off stump that Jos can get it in front of square. I think the man in the field is set behind square because the ball that bounces when we see Jos Buttler got out off Alzari Joseph.
This one, Butler is able to work to deep point for 1. England moves 15.
But he's bowled it for plan. He's bowled it to a good plan. He's bowled back of a length. Apart from the first ball, he's bowled back of a length. And he's bowled to his field. He bowled a short ball leg side, which Josh Butler played a good shot. Man was out there. But to finish on the run-up, it doesn't matter if you have got a good running technique or you haven't got a good running technique. For me, bowling is about the last 4 strides going in. So if you've got good momentum, forward momentum going towards the crease, through the crease, and you can hold a strong action, you've got a great chance.
Final ball of the over. This one's a bit fuller, and it's put down, I think, by Rothman Powell, who's at a kind of shortish. Is that shortish extra cover?
Yeah, shortish extra cover. I think it was a crowd catch. I think it's a
bounced
ball.
first?
I think it's bounced first. It was a half volley. It was over pitch, trying to get the ball to swing. Didn't swing. Phil Salters hit it into the ground, and Rothman Powell on the catch. On the drive has put a crowd catch down, and England managed to get through for a single. But the good signs from O'Shane Thomas, I think he had a plan on what he was trying to do from a bowling point of view. More importantly, he bowled to his field. He had a man out in the deep point behind square and a man behind square on the leg side for the short ball and one for the back foot punch that both players play very, very well. It's just unfortunate that the pull shot that Josh Butler played, he played it very, very well. And when you're a bowler in the power play, you doff your cap when somebody plays a good shot, because at the end of the day, that's what they're allowed to do. But it was a good start for me, a positive start for O'Shane Thomas, because he was trying to get the ball to swing, pitch it up, but he was also hitting the deck, and hitting the deck hard, which that's something the West Indies I think has struggled with.
Yeah, one of the balls of that over, I didn't mention it at the time, but was 142 AMs, and it's Akil Hussain who's in to the attack for the third over, and it's a quick run by Phil Salt, good run to be fair. Called Josh Butler through immediately, and although Shafane Rutherford was in an extra cover position, could not do anything about that, and the score is 17 without loss after 2.1 overs.
You could hear Nicholas Pooran shouting there, and I'm not surprised he's shouting. That is criminal. You bowl a good ball in the power play, you've got fielders in, they've got to stop that single.
Butler back on strike. And again, it's that stop delivery from Akil Hussain. He loves the kind of wicket-to-wicket arm ball. England, to their credit, I think, over certainly the last game, but the last 2 games have tried to bat him out of settling down. And I think a lot of the West Indian game plan is Akil Hussain being able to bowl for pretty much nothing in the power play and almost set the tone for the bowling in. So this is actually a critical phase of play. It'll be interesting to see how early Butler and Salt try to go after him. Third ball of the over. And again on that off stump line, and that's well stopped. Well, we say well stopped, but it looks like, I'm not sure who the fielder is who's down at the moment.
Yeah, it's gone for 4.
Has it gone? Oh,
yeah, it's gone for 4. It's gone through.
It did actually go through the fielder, but Rutherford is actually on the floor. I thought at the time that Rutherford had stopped it, but maybe Rutherford has jarred his elbow into the ground, so it's gone through for 4. But Rutherford has been injured in the process of trying to stop it, so that is actually 4 runs.
Yeah, look, it actually did look as though he stopped it. I think he's got a wristband on. I think he's got a lot of the players now wear covering to cover their elbows, and it looked as though he had stopped it, but he's jarred his wrist, or he's done something to his hand, and while diving into the ground. And you mentioned about when England would go at Akil Hussain, and in the game so far, they've been very reluctant to hit Akil Hussain down the ground. When they've gone for him square of the wicket, so they've used the sweep and the reverse sweep to their advantage, their very good advantage. And it's whether Akil Hussain thinks, right, I'm not going to let them sweep me, I'm going to bowl that bit fuller, I'm going to bowl it obviously that bit quicker and a bit flatter, and say to England batters, Salt and Butler, do you want to come down a wicket and hit me down the ground? I'm not going to give you a chance to sweep me, I'm not going to give you a chance to get under me to help you, to elevate it over the top. And there, I think he's gone a little bit fuller, a little bit wider, and Phil Salt standing in his crease waiting for it and belted it for 4.
England 22 without loss after 2.3 overs. Akil Hussain in again. This time he goes down the leg side. Salt does try, or certainly gets out the reverse sweep, but doesn't connect properly. It'll be a dot ball. Phil Salt will probably feel he should have put that one away. It was a wide if he'd left it alone.
He probably should have played, obviously predetermined, so he's gone for the reverse sweep. If you had watched Weighted, he might have gone for the conventional sweep, especially with a pace on it, but he went for the paddle because there's a lot of pace on the ball.
Sailing again, this time back on his kind of stock line, and they go for a quick run. Jason Holder is a shy at the stumps. Don't know if that had hit. Looks like Phil Salt would have been in anyway. But good running by England again. Some say risky, but the point is that I think Salt would have been in. We'll have another look at it. It was Jason Holder just inside the perimeter.
No, he's out. For me, I was just about to say, I think his bat gets caught in the ground in front of the crease. And I think he jumps over the crease with his bat as his bat's just going in. But I think the ball does go past the stumps while Phil Salt was out of the crease. Again, ball full down the ground.
Final ball of the over. And this Josh Butler backs away onto his leg stump, doesn't quite catch it, wants to go down the ground, but instead finds Andre Russell, who's stationed at long on, and there'll be one run there, and that's the end of the over. 8 off it. England are 24 without loss after 3, and Harmy is, I mean, it's a steady start by England, certainly, going at 8s, but a better... There's a clear plan, at least this time, from the West Indies.
Yeah, better plan. And I was just about to say to you, it's amazing when you play teams over more than 3 matches. You then start to get to see the matchups in the sense of who's learnt off what playing, because that over there especially, England in the last 2 games have been very dominant towards the spin bowlers because they've tried the reverse sweep, conventional sweep, trying to hit the ball on the up.
It's Jason Holder, so another bowling change. Jason Holder pitches this one up a bit more. It'll be interesting to see how Jason tries to... what his bowling approach will be for this particular over. No one has really strayed off the plan thus far. Of course, for those who missed the news earlier on, Jason Holder will not be going to Australia with the West Indies Test side, which has caused quite a news cycle in the Caribbean. But here he is, trying to help West Indies win this series against England. Second ball of the over. And Butler brings... well, he's out. Josh Butler brought out the reverse... paddle? I guess you could call it. It's O'Shane Thomas, who's at 45. And he takes the catch. I mean, it's a good wicket for the West Indies to take. Josh Butler goes for 11, but... it's a poor shot there by Josh Butler. I think if you go in for that kind of shot, you need to get more elevation on it. And it's almost catching practice.
It's a good catch from Big O'Shane Thomas. I love that. Obviously, I've got Big Man Chute sitting next to me. It's great when you see fast bowlers take a catch because they look so uncoordinated. So, I mean that in all the best way. I should say, fast bowlers look uncoordinated. We look so uncoordinated trying to get a catch. It's like crocodile catching. It's like catching for under 11s.
He did look surprised.
He did look very surprised, but it was a good catch nonetheless. It was a good catch, and I think. Just to finish off what I was saying before about the spin bowler, the way he bowled, England have had a plan to go the other way because knowing that Hussain was going to bowl that little bit fuller, so England, instead of playing sweeps, have targeted down the ground. And I think that wicket there, again, when they talk about plans, Josh Butler's probably thinking, right, they've gone back of a length, Jason Holder is not as comfortable bowling back of a length. He bowls that little bit fuller. When he bowls back of a length, he gets belted. And he had his field set for a pitch-up ball. He had a slip in place. He didn't have anybody at deep square leg. He had somebody at point. So Josh Butler's thinking, if he is going to bowl full, the pace that Holder bowls at, I can get across the stumps and underneath to help him to find leg. And that big fellow was there to take the catch.
So it's Will Jacks who's on the strike. Jacks hasn't really got going in this tournament. He gets off strike immediately, though. A quick dab down to, I think it's Johnson Charles at point, and Will Jacks is off strike, or off the mark, sorry. Jacks in the series thus far, his highest score has been 24. Only averaging 17. He'll be disappointed with that. He had a good ODI series, but just yet to get going in these T20s. We know, of course, what an explosive batter he can be. So for Will Jacks, this is a good time because he's got a long time to get going. Phil Salt back on strike, and he brings out his first big shot of the match, but he does not connect as well as he'd like. He does love a leg side kind of pull, but it plugs in the outfield. Gudakesh Motie collects that, or a run back for 2.
Again, Phil Salt, he's thinking that's going to be a touch shorter. Jason Holder's gone that bit fuller. He's trying to give himself some room inside it to go over the leg side. I don't think the ball is coming onto the bat as well as it did the other night, or more importantly, I think the ball in better areas than it did the other night. I think a lot of the stuff the other night was head scratcher stuff, because I don't think the wicket was as good as, say, a 180, 200 pitch. I just think it was a poor bowling.
Holder again takes pace off with this one, and Phil Salt works that for 4 runs. He beats Akil Hussain, who was coming round at deep point, but he can't cut it off. It's a good shot, good cut shot there by Phil Salt, and it's a boundary.
Yeah, he stayed inside that. It was not a bad ball. You would talk about getting the ball in and around the top of off stump. It was probably a little bit shorter than a good length, and Akil Hussain is very, very lucky. He gets his hand on it when he dives, but unfortunately, as his momentum goes, it hits his wrist, pushes it towards the Toblerone, and couldn't quite stop it. And Phil Salt is looking in ominous form again from a West Indian point of view. That bat just seems to get wider and wider.
Indeed it does. This one's more straight from Jason Holder's finished the over. Phil Salt runs through for 1, having pushed into the offside, and we've come to an end of over. England still going at 8, but they have lost the wicket of Jos Buttler. Phil Salt is on 20 of 12 balls. Will Jacks is just on 1. England on 32 for 1.
It's a good start from England. It is. It's a good start. Buttler is somebody who you'd want him to see out the power play and kick on from there, but you don't mind losing 1 in the power play. And the way it's going to sound absolutely ridiculous here, and I'm very, very good at making ridiculous statements, but at this moment in time, if you were going to say one batter who you'd rather sacrifice in the first 6 overs, the way they're going, is Jos Buttler over Phil Salt, considering he scored 109 in the 3rd game and 119 in the 4th game. So yeah, I think it has been a good start from England.
Akil Hussain, first bowler to bowl more than 1 over, will bowl the 5th of the power play, and he starts with a dot. Again, that kind of flat, quick wicket-to-wicket delivery arm ball that Akil Hussain likes, and Phil Salt can only defend that back down the track. Phil Salt at this moment in time, yes, he's only on 20 at this point, but it looks like if he does get out anytime soon, it'll be because he's gone for 1 shot too many, as opposed to anyone being able to get him out. This one, he works into the leg side. They'll run through. They may well come back for 2. Andre Russell feels that. In fact, they stick to 1. And Will Jacks back on strike.
Phil Jacks is another one that went to reverse sweep against the spin bowlers very early in his innings, and I think either Salt or Jacks, Salt especially, if he gets back on strike after this ball, I just wonder if he'll take the risk of coming out of his crease. If he comes out of his crease and goes to hit the spin bowler downtown, whether it is Akil Hussain or Moti when Moti comes on, if he hits him just early in the over and goes down the ground, then I think both batters will feel more comfortable sweeping and reverse sweeping from a length of ball which is a little bit more shorter in length, especially the pace that the bowl. So it'll be an interesting little sort of cat and mouse game here.
Saying to Jacks back foot punch there, but will not be good. Kesh Moti, who's stationed at point. There's no run there.
Rothman Powell's at slip. He's at slip for the ball because he's trying to bowl that bit fuller in length, and because he's trying to bowl that bit fuller in length, bowl a bit quicker. Is one of these batters going to be brave enough to come out of their crease and try and hit it down the ground?
You can sense there's some. Well, this one, Jacks backs away onto the leg stump again. He won't beat Shea Holt at cover. Again, no run there. Something will give here. First over where England haven't been able to score a boundary, or get away, I should say. .1. You just sense something big's about to happen. One of the batters you feel will attack Akil Hussain in one of these last 2 balls. Again, Jacks backs away to the leg stump. He tries to go straight and down the ground, and he clears Andre Russell, who's kind of runs to the boundary from a long on position. He goes for the extravagant dive, or spectacular dive, but it just clears him. We felt that a big was coming, and it is a 6 for Will Jacks.
Well, this time he's not gone for the I'm coming at you down the ground. It's I'm going as deep as I can in my crease, give myself some room on the leg side and try and hit you off the back foot. Jason Roy used to hit it over cover off the back foot. This time Will Jacks has gone straight down the ground. 6 runs.
So the big shot has come, and this time he's gone. He's gone. I think he's chopped on there. He's tried to back away to leg stump once again, and I think he's chopped on. And Will Jacks, after that big six, Akil Hussain will say, I've actually won that. I've won that over you. Akil Hussain might even say, you know what? You took me for six with the previous ball, but I'm going back to that same delivery. And Will Jacks this time chops onto his stumps. West Indies have another wicket. He may not even have chopped on. I think he's actually been bowled straight through.
It's an absolute beauty. Brilliant bowling from Akil Hussain. It's a ball where you hold your nerve, because Will Jacks is possibly thinking, because he's gone downtown the way he's gone the ball before, he might have thinking, right, this one's going to be a little bit slower, and this one might be a little bit slower and a little bit fuller. And I think Jacks has gone for the same, basically for the same shot. But what Akil Hussain's done is he's gone a little bit flatter, a little bit fuller, and he's gone on with the arm. So he hasn't tried to turn it. He's gone and landed it on sort of off stump, and it's landed on off stump, and it's literally hit the bill, the top of the bill of middling leg. Fantastic bit of bowling from Akil Hussain. And England now gone from, at the end of the last over, in a good position, in my opinion, are just teaching whether they've won the power play or they're going to win the power play or not.
So I will hand over to John Norman. England are 39 for 2 after 5 overs, and it's Liam Livingstone who walks in to partner Phil Salt, who is on 21 not out.
Thank you, Mash. I like this. I like this a lot from West Indies. They've gone away, they've had a think, they've had a talk, and they've come back, and they're posing England questions now. Salt is still there though. It's on a length, a fraction of width, and cut away for 4. So that isn't what the West Indies would have wanted. Shane Thomas back for his second over. Tudes is alongside me. But let this from a surprise. Andre Russell bowled in the first over. Akil Hussain, who's just picked up the wicket of Will Jacks, held back until the third over. O'Shane Thomas, one of 2 changes, he bowls the second. Jason Holder didn't take the first or the second, he bowled the fourth. He picked up the big one, Joss Buttler, who was out for the 3rd time in T20 cricket. Our scorer Gary Morgan tells me for the 3rd time playing the reverse. Full toss actually by Thomas, and Phil Salt just drills that straight back past the bowler for 4.
Yeah, he's in the form. He's not going to miss out on a low full toss from O'Shea Thompson. He's bowled with good speed. As I said, he's in the form of his life, Phil Salt, and he hits that gun barrel straight down the ground. Try to get his size 20 foot down there. I was unable to stop it. Hit with tremendous power. This over so far. Johnny's gone 4-4. Bowlers under pressure.
Yeah, he is under pressure, but 47 for 2. And the important thing is that the West Indies have done what they just have not managed to do much. They've taken wickets in the power play, 2 of them. Joss Buttler and Will Jacks both gone. 4 balls left of the power play, and O'Shane Thomas is in again. Big lumbering frame. You can almost feel the ground move when he lands, and this time there's no run. Touch fuller and driven back to the bowler.
I'll tell you what I like, Johnny. I was desperately watching, and I said it at the beginning at the top about the amount of slower balls that I've seen in this series from both teams. There hasn't been that many so far. They've just tried to hit your sort of that mid-range, your waist, not trying to give batters a lot of room. And it's, as I said, you just got to sometimes play the conditions. Yeah,
they haven't tried to hide the ball either, throw it out there wide. Again, back of a length, no room to free his arms, Phil Salt, who cuts this to deep backward point for a single. 48 for 2. England's 2 balls left of the power play.
Listen, I know the game has changed, Johnny. I know that the game has changed, and you know, as in regards of the power and the way that the batters play, they hit 360 now, but I just think sometimes as bowlers you overthink it, and you're thinking, oh, I've got to get the slower balls in, the slower bouncers. Assess the wicket and just bowl accordingly, and that's what West Indies has done today, and that's why they've got 2 wickets in the power play, and England only got at 48 at the minute.
Thomas again, he's past the ump, and this spits up a little bit. Fraction more bounce. I suppose you get that from a pace bowler. Not that Thomas is bowling lightning, not with that delivery anyway. Another run to the score. Livingston, another guy who's had a decent series so far. He's off the mark. 1 ball left of the power play. You're listening to TalkSport 2, and you're on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube page listening to our coverage live and exclusively. And myself, John Norman, Alex Tudor as well. Get in contact with us either via Twitter on @cricket_TS, or head over to the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel, subscribe, and then leave a question in the chat box, and I'll ask the big man at some point. There's another big man, Thomas, back of a length again, cut again by Salt, but he cannot free his arms, cannot target the leg side boundary, and what we know is very, very proficient, and he can't loft it over extra cover either. So Alex Tudor, I'd say at the end of the power play, it's almost honours even. 2 wickets going the way of the West Indies. Joss Buttler flicking a ball on the reverse. Jason Holder with that breakthrough, caught inside the circle, and then Will Jacks opening up his body, attempting to cut the ball, push it through the offside, but beaten by an absolute beauty from Michael Hussain. Just kissed the bails, and Jacks had to go.
Yeah, I think honours even. I think West Indies will be happy with that. It's a steady start from England. Current run rate at 8.33. Not losing too many. 2 big wickets, but still got Phil Salt, the dangerous player, the man of the series so far with back-to-back hundreds, already 31 from 19, and showing tremendous form again with power and placement.
Gudakesh Moti about to bowl now. Is an interesting little situation here, because he bowled in the first match. Was it the first match? Possibly the second. Either way, Moeen Ali picked out his bowling figures and said England just didn't get on top of him enough. This is pushed through the covers for a single by Phil Salt. First ball from Moti, slow left armour. Almost impossible to hit at the start of this series, but he went for 55 runs from his 4 overs 2 days ago. So what are we going to see today? It'll be really interesting. Of course, he's coming on to bowl with a little bit of scoreboard protection. It's not Buttler and Salt, it's Livingston and Salt. Down the leg side, little yelp for leg before, chase for Shy Hope, running from first slip, down to fine leg. He's given a little bit of assistance. Phil Salt will come back for a third.
Yeah, it's a leg by, just straying there. Just getting a little bit greedy, looking for that big turner, as sometimes the left armer does when he's coming round. Looking for that big turner. Just sort of drifted on with the arm. Just flicking Livingston's pad. Paran was unable to stop it. It goes down for 3. Good running from Phil Salt. Obviously, he wants to try and face as much bowling as he can. Yeah,
it was Phil Salt running to the danger end, but no real danger there. Little bit of a width, and Phil Salt has lofted this delivery up and over long off, and he has hit 6. And the golden form continues for Salt, who moves to 38.
See, what I love about all of what Phil Salt is doing so far, he's doing it from a steady base. He's not trying to overhit. He just gets that left leg out the way so he can access the bat to come through nice and straight, and he just hits it up and over long off. It's a fantastic cricket shot. The power that these young men have now, Johnny, honestly, I'm glad that I'm sitting here.
It was just a fraction of movement from Moti, but it was slow turn, wasn't a lot on it. This is fine in, and this time Phil Salt, who attempts to defend the ball that pitches at middle and hits off. A terrific nut from Moti. It's 6 and out for Salt, and England lose their third. They're 60 for 3.
That's an outstanding delivery. You've just been hit for a massive 6, and he's bowled the perfect left arm bowl. He's played down the Piccadilly, it's gone Waterloo. He played down the wrong line. That's a tremendous ball from Moti. Phil Salt, who's in tremendous form, the form of his life, has gone from 38 from 22 balls. And England, you would say, Johnny, under pressure. 3 big wickets back in the hut. Salt, the captain, Buttler, and Jacks. And it's going to be Brook and Livingston at the crease.
Well, if England are going to win today, they're going to have to do it without, for the first time, a century from Phil Salt. 38, but he's gone, and Harry Brooks striding to the crease. With England 3 down inside 7 overs, and what an absolute peach of a delivery from Moti. You know, he'd just been smacked, he'd just been punched on the nose by Phil Salt, the in-form player of the match in the last 2 games. And what did he do? Didn't try and just fire one in. He just changed his line, and he basically said to Phil Salt, over to you, boss.
As an unbelievable delivery, as you said, Johnny, he's just been spanked down the ground, and he's just come back with an absolute perler of a delivery.
And just for those listening, you know what? It wasn't off stump that was pegged back, middle stump on its back. Moti, touch fuller, flatter and faster. It's defended by the new bat, Harry Brook, who's wow. And we're just seeing a replay of the ball, and if it had gone on with the angle, it essentially would have hurled down leg side. That moved quite a lot more than I gave it credit for at first, because this ball is cut away for a single. And that's the end of the over. At the start of it, I asked how it was going to go. 55 runs coming from Moti's 4 overs in that heavy defeat at the same ground 2 nights ago. Well, first over bowled, and it's gone the way of the West Indies. 8 runs coming from it, but that big wicket, Phil Salt, cleaned up for 38. And with Moeen Ali set to come in next, and he hasn't had a lot of batting behind him. Then Sam Curran, the 2 left-handers, quite a lot resting on the shoulders of England's number 4, Liam Livingstone, and then number 5, Harry Brook.
Yeah, game on here, Johnny. It had to be a certain delivery to get rid of Phil Salt, the form he's in, and he's picked an absolute jaffer to get him. As you said, if it went on his current trajectory, it would have gone down the leg side. So there was a prodigious turn, just held up and turned, and he's played down the wrong line. An amazing delivery, but brings new heroes, and we all know what Brook can do. Livingstone's dangerous.
Garrick Wilson has been in touch on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube page, and the chat facility says West Indies will win the match and the series.
Mama Tudor would be happy with that.
Yeah, well, as long as Mama Tudor's happy, eh? That's the important thing. Andre Russell for his second over. The first one went for just 5. This is flicked off the hips of Harry Brook for a single. Rode the bounce, and he gets off strike. This is good. I've been impressed by the Windies, the way they've gone about things today. England will, and have also got off. They've got some runs on the board, losing the toss, being asked to bat first at the Brian Lara, and it's Liam Livingstone. Sets himself as Russell is in, and there's a swing and a miss. And you talked about retaining your base in the shot that Phil Salt played in the last over before he got out. Well, Liam Livingstone lost his body shape there, really, didn't he? It was all arms, all power, but no connection.
But again, Johnny, it was just hitting the wicket, and if you hit the wicket, you get that indifferent bounce. No slower ball, just the naturalness of the wicket is giving you its variation. I just think so many times in T20 cricket.
As Livingstone again looks surprised by the pace or the lift that Russell is getting out of this track. Ball really spits away for a single. 62 for 3.
Again, no nonsense, just run in, hit back of a length, and it just nip back. As you say, you know, have to make the batters earn hitting you all over the place. If they hit a good ball, then fair enough. Don't make it easy for them. And I think that's their tactic today. You know, Rodman Powell says we've got a new tactic. Maybe it's just not bowl so many slower balls.
Russell again, it's a big leap at the crease, but it's a full toss, and Harry Brook says thank you very much, and he pushes that past mid-off for 4.
Yeah, missed his length, missed the pitch. And Harry Brook, even though he's at the beginning of his innings, he's too good a player to miss out on a low full toss, and he just punches it straight down the ground, past mid-off. Andre Russell makes a despairing dive to try and stop it, but he had no chance. Hit powerfully down the ground past Jason Holder, and he just has to turn and pick the ball up and give it back to Andre Russell.
Russell fell over as well in his follow-through, so it kind of went a little bit wrong for the big man. Decent crowd in the ground in the stadium today. Should fill up a little bit more as the match progresses. Short delivery. This is wide of off stump. Harry Brook swivels and pulls. No more damage than a single though. Fired in. And that was, well, I hope Nicholas Purran behind the stumps is wearing a mouth guard, because you don't want those. It just kind of reared up, didn't it? It was fortunate there.
Yeah, some of these throws back from the outfielders hasn't been great. It's not what you want as a keeper. I'm sure you'll be letting them know. That used to happen to Alex Stewart, you knew.
68 for 3 then, Livingston. A little shuffle to the offside. This is on the pads, and he wants two. He's going to have to run quick. The throw comes in, but he's done enough. So 2 runs to the end of the over, 9 runs coming from it. And at the 8 over stage, England are 70 for 3.
A rare slower ball from Andre Russell on the West Indies side in the first 8 overs. Played beautifully, took the pace off it, knew it was 2 from when it left the bat, even though there was a little bit of indecision to run in, but he got in safely. And England march on to 70 for 3. You said these 2 will need to occupy the crease for a little bit longer, and then to allow Mo Ali, Sam Curran to come in and do what they do with maybe 5 or so 6 overs to come, where they can be very expansive. Yeah.
This has been an intriguing T20, hasn't it, for the first 8 overs or so. 24 runs for the first wicket. Joss Buttler was out for 11. Will Jacks 7. 60 for 2 when Phil Salt was dismissed. And Moti's about to bowl his second over, and has Harry Brook been caught behind? Well, the umpire thinks so. Brook down on the sweep, a little top edge, and you're not going to get an easier catch than that behind the stumps. And Moti has struck with his first ball of his second over, and suddenly England are 4 down.
Yeah, it's going wrong at the minute. They're getting inventive. He just went down to try and just a little paddle sweep. It hits the edge of his bat, and an easy catch for Nicholas Purran. He's not going to miss that. And Moti is having a good day so far. The dangerous Harry Brook has to turn and walk back. He's gone for 7. England 70 for 4.
Well, in terms of the win probability, England have been riding it. They've been riding high for the majority of this innings, despite losing those wickets. But that's a big blow. Be interested to see how that affects things. But with Harry Brook gone, Moeen Ali new to the crease, England will have to reduce their expectations a touch, I think. Big moment, and of course Moti still has the rest of this over and another couple to come. And the pressure is on England, and as we've seen in recent times, when the pressure is on this England side, sometimes go into their shells, and can't afford to do that for very long in T20 cricket.
Yeah, just gonna have to get their thinking heads on. I know sort of the English way of current years has been be ultra positive, be positive, but there's a series to win. Moti's bowling well. He's 1.1 overs, 2 for 8. Need to try and see him off.
Yeah, it felt like it was on as even at the end of the power play. 50 for 2 at that stage. Advantage West Indies now. Ali's about to face his first delivery, fired in by Moti. It's a flat delivery, and Ali gets off strike first ball. 71 for 4.
It's just all our inventive shots. Joss Buttler has tried a little paddle, didn't quite come off. Will Jacks, after hitting a big 6, has tried to make some room to hit it up and over extra cover, as he does, and miss it, gets clean bowled. And then Phil Salt, in the form he was in, it needed to be a good delivery, and it was a fantastic delivery from Moti to get him.
The other thing is, Choose, 3 of the wickets to fall have gone the way of spin. Hussein's still got a bowl. Flatter again from Moti, pushed through and defended by Livingston. Brook might feel a little bit unfortunate with that. It hit the glove and just ballooned up as Livingston is back, punches this square of the wicket for a single.
I mean, the margins in sport, Johnny, are so small, aren't they? You know, he plays that well, and it sort of runs down, doesn't it? You know, the short fine leg's not able to get it, and it goes for 4, but he gets a good edge, and it just goes straight up. Yes, you would say unlucky execution, not the way he wanted.
Moeen is back and pushes this ball up to long on for a single. I mean, as soon as you see the line of the ball, you feel it's a relatively safe shot. I know the sweep, you know, you can never know how the bounce is going to go, but with that line, kind of feel that was a relatively risk-free shot, but clipped to mid-wicket. So Moti's over comes to an end. 3 runs coming from it, and that wicket of Harry Brook. Livingston 5 not out, Moeen Ali 2 not out. You're listening to TalkSport 2. Come and join us on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel as well. Come and see how trim Alex Tudor is looking at the moment.
Yeah, I had to sort that out a little bit later, Johnny. I can't be coming on there with the grey hairs showing. I'm at that age now.
Well, you and me both, mate. I can't get away with the bar lead though.
I reckon you look all right, don't you, buddy?
I used to have it. Oh, Train Spotting.
Oh, don't talk about that
Train
film.
Spotting fashion at the end of the 90s. Not as short as that.
Listen, Dave Gilbert, our old coach at Surrey, thought it would be good team bonding. We went to watch Train Spotting in London. I came out, I was like, what did we just watch? But it's an absolute classic, isn't it?
Oh, that is a classic film. I once got a Mohican shaved into my head, actually. I'll tell you about that in a second. Holder's back, and Moeen Ali is given a little bit of width. Cannot beat cover, though, Brandon King. No timing, as it's cut into the offside. Brandon King feels no run.
Go on, explain, go on.
Well, I've only got 5 deliveries before Michelle comes back, so I better get the story in quick. And I suppose it's there's not a spinner bowling, so we've probably got enough time. It was actually I did it twice, actually thinking about it. Holder again, and Moeen Ali gracefully picks this ball up, lofts the ball over Andre Russell at mid-off, but it dies in the outfield somewhat. Ali comes back for a second, and the score moves to 75 for 4.
Yeah, he just allowed a little width. Moeen's not going to miss out on that. Jumped on it, didn't get the timing that he normally gets. Sort of plugged out in the outfield. Andre Russell was able to chase it down and throw it back powerfully. 2 runs.
It was 1995. It was the second Frank Bruno-Mike Tyson fight. Holder in, short delivery. Ali takes it on. Won't find the boundary though. Fielded at mid-wicket. And just a single for Ali there. 76 for 4. Yeah, it was one of the few times I've paid for pay-per-view. My house, I was a terrible student. So when I was at second year, you get student loans. And I got my student loan in, and I spent it in 5 days. And do you know what I spent the money on? I didn't spend it on food, didn't spend it on pot noodles, didn't spend it on what you need to spend it on. Holder again, Livingston. Shapes to the offside. This is fired in on the legs of Livingston, who if he'd stayed where he was, actually, would have been presented with a far easier shot. Either way, he has to really get that bat round the front of the pads to get the bat on the ball, and ball squirts out to the leg side for a single. 77 for 4. I bought Sky Sports for the house.
Priorities, Johnny. Well done.
Yeah. That's otherwise I would have missed Atherton's knock with Jack Russell against South Africa in 94-95. Short again, and slower delivery from Holder. We've seen this ball before. Ali's too soon on the shot, and it's fielded behind the stumps. No run. 77 for 4. Yeah. Anyway, we get the Sky Sports, and we pay for the pay-per-view. We don't realise that the fight ain't happening till 5 in the morning. So by the time it gets to 5 in the morning, we've exhausted all of our entertainment. We ended up Mohicans all round. Good looking shot for none from Ali. Picks out Andre Russell on the edge of the circle at mid-off. Glorious cover drive. But as the drinks break comes, it's the West Indies on top. Moeen Ali and Liam Livingston at the crease. 10 overs in. England 77 for 4. And to talk you through the next 5 overs of bumpers, Yorkers, slower balls, spin and Mohicans, it's Michelle St Patrick Hewitt and Steve Harmison.
Yes, we're back, and as John Norman says, at the halfway stage of the innings, certainly it's a completely different game to what happened in the 4th T20. West Indies, if they could have dreamt of a way to rebound from what happened in the fourth T20 and even the third, when they should have probably defended 2-2-2 or 2-2-3 even, they've had the response. Rodman Powell said at the toss that they'd gone away and spoken about bowling plans, and you said, Steve Harmison, that you like Rodman Powell as a captain. He doesn't use cliches, he almost says it as it is, and sometimes you can say these things like, oh, we've gone away and we spoke about plans, but clearly they did go away and speak about plans.
Yeah, they did, and then that's the most refreshing thing. They've come out and realised that, can we get Salt and Bottler out in the first 2 overs? Can we bowl 12 balls at their 2 best players so far in the series, put the ball in the right area, get some movement with our 2 bowlers who we think, not our best bowlers, but from a pace point of view, our most wicket-taking bowlers. And I would have said Andre Russell would be one of them. The experience he's got, he's been really expensive in this series, he's got wickets. And the other one would be O'Shane Thomas. I asked for Jason Holder, but I didn't mind the experience of Andre Russell, and they've got England in a decent position sitting here after 10 overs. But I look at the game situation, and you know what, Mash, and I go, England got 200, what did they get, 267 in that last game at this ground. I thought 2 overs in that game. This is a 160, 180 pitch. And I still believe that it was a 160, 180 pitch. I don't think the bowling was great. And again, I think this is exactly the same. I think if you hit the deck hard, utilise the skill sets you've got, bowl to your strengths, bowl more importantly to your fields, hold your nerve under pressure, you will get rewarded, because I think there's something in this surface. And then you try and put the pressure back onto the batter, and he will then make a mistake. There's been some absolute beauties bowled. Especially the first 2 spin bowlers who got wickets. Harry Brook was unlucky a touch, poor execution of a sweep shot. But the wicket of Salt, who was going to take a good ball to get rid of Salt, and the wicket of Jacks was 2 bowlers who held their nerve, bowled a good line, asked it to turn, one didn't turn, one did turn, and they were rewarded in the wicket. So I think all in all, standing at the drinks break, Rodman Powell will be very happy where his team's at.
Yeah, and I think what was critical was that Andre Russell and O'Shane Thomas, sounds crazy to say you can let a game get away in the opening 2 overs, but they certainly laid a foundation and said, this is what we need to do, like follow the plan. And it's now allowed the spinners to come into the game without pressure on them. Akil Hussain into the attack at the start of the 11th over. He's only bowled 2 thus far. So between Akil Hussain and Gudakesh Moti, who of course bowled very well in the first 2 T20s, they've got 4 more overs remaining. You know they'll both bowl out. Livingston tapped that ball back to Akil Hussain, the first one of that over, and the second one he again just taps into the offside, no run there as well. Must remember that Liam Livingstone, of course, is an explosive batter, so he may only be 6 off 11 at this moment in time, but if Livingstone is there in another 11 balls, you would think a couple of big shots have happened. Kill to Livingstone again, and Livingstone this time works it down to long on for 1, and that will bring Moeen Ali on strike.
I'm sure Liam Livingstone and Moeen Ali, 2 experienced characters in competitors in 2020 cricket, I'll have a number in mind. 175, 180, possibly around that number, and they'll know how to get there. And it'll just be can we buy some time? Can we hit the ball down the ground? Can we get ourselves a position to get in? Can we then put pressure, if we bat for a little bit of time, to make the captain make a bowling change to our liking?
Akil Hussain goes all round the wicket to Moeen, who works that into the onside for 1. And that will bring Liam Livingstone back on strike. England 79 for 4.
And the game's just finely poised. It's a nice balance here. It's 2-2 in the series. Who's going to blink? Who is going to panic? Are England going to panic and lose 2 wickets, or is West Indies going to panic?
This time Will Jacks does go for a bit of a pull, short arm pull, but he can only find the mid-wicket fielder for 1. And again, it's that similar kind of pattern to what happened before Will Jacks got out, where we felt that a big shot was coming. Will Jacks played the big shot, but as you said, Akil Hussain held his nerve. But I think at this stage, having lost a cluster of wickets, as you say, I think Moeen and Liam will be happy to just consolidate for a few overs. Keel back around the wicket to Moeen. And Moeen wanted one there. Wanted one. Finds Jason Holder at point, but Liam Livingstone sends him back, and that's the end of the over. Only 3 off it. Akil Hussain has bowled 1 for 18 off his 3 overs. He's settled into his work. Be very interesting to see how Rodman Powell uses the spinners from here. Will he just go back-to-back spin until they've both bowled out? Or will he try and save one for the final 4 or 5 overs?
I think I'd continue with the spin. I think the spin's going nicely. I think the difference between when Will Jacks was batting is that the 2 experienced players have been in this situation many times before, of Livingston and of Moeen Ali. When you look at the bowling figures and what they've got left, you've got Moti who's got 2 left, you've got Akil Hussain's got 1 left, 9 overs to go. I think I'd be tempted to keep them going. O'Shane Thomas is going to come on to bowl. I don't mind this either, because breaking this partnership could be huge for it from an England point of view. If you get Livingston or Ali out now, then it's Curran, Wokes, Rehan Ahmed. You're not into the bowlers, but then you're putting real pressure on Sam Curran.
So O'Shane Thomas into Liam Livingstone. Liam Livingstone goes for a back foot drive. He doesn't quite catch that. Skewers out to the deep extra cover for 1.
Liam there is fought himself, basically. He's got himself deep in the crease. He has this great shot which picks up the leg side. He hit the ball over, I think he hit one over on the stands at Headingley. He did it at Barbados beautifully a couple of times over the scoreboard. But I'm not sure he played that shot to O'Shane Thomas, because the bounce of the ball that potentially that Thomas gets.
Moeen Ali on strike to O'Shane Thomas. First time he's faced him, and it's wide from O'Shane Thomas. Moeen Ali fishes at it, doesn't commit to it fully, but certainly fishes at the delivery. Again, as Steve Harmison just alluded to, O'Shane Thomas, because of his trajectory, gets a lot of bounce, obviously his pace as well. And there was good carry on that delivery. Yeah,
it was width, and Moeen Ali would be devastated he missed out on that. That was a ball to hit. That was a ball to hit for 4. But because of the inconsistency of Thomas's action and the surface, managed to get the ball just to bounce over the sort of horizontal bat, and again it just adds the pressure towards Moeen Ali.
O'Shane again. This time Moeen Ali does bring out the pull or even hook shot and finds deep mid wicket, and there'll be 1 run there.
And good again from O'Shane Thomas. He's bowling to his field. He's saying to Moeen Ali, you can play the pull shot, but he's going wide of off stump. So because he's going wide of off stump, Moeen Ali can't get it to square leg. He has to hit it in front of square. For Moeen Ali to get it to square leg, where there's no fielder and fine legs in the circle, he'd have to get right inside it, and he just can't do that.
Liam Livingstone back on strike. This one's in Liam Livingstone's slot, and he finally does bring out the big shot. It's way over a kind of wideish, deep extra cover area, and that's the first 6 that Liam Livingstone has hit.
Well, that was in the slot for Liam Livingstone. He's been waiting for that for 2 or 3 balls from O'Shane Thomas. He said, like I said before, I don't think he trusts the bounce if it's outside off stump. It needs to come into the angle. It needs to come in towards off stump, middling off, for him to really feel as though he can hit it through the line, trust it onto the leg side, over the boundary. And I think because it was full, he could really get his arms free.
And this one again sits up for Liam Livingstone, and he goes leg side again. This time he finds Shea Hope at deep backward square. And there's only 1 run there. That previous ball from Liam Livingstone, was over deep mid-wicket, and the gentleman in the crowd went for the catch, but caught it square in the chest, and the camera panned in on Shafane Rutherford with his head in his hands.
There's a bit talking about O'Shane Thomas. We were talking about fast bowlers when he took the catch earlier. I was taking the mick out of him a little bit, because that's the catch that I would do, and it was exactly the same as the way the guy in the crowd would.
And this one's gone high in the air. Will he find the fielder, Moeen Ali, or will it plug? It does plug. He doesn't. He goes after O'Shane Thomas. I think the ball is sitting up for Moeen senses that he can attack this and he can hook and pull O'Shane Thomas. But if you don't time it quite right, because of the pace that O'Shane Thomas bowls at, you're likely to miss pull, miss hook, top edge it, and Moeen probably gets away with that slightly.
Yeah, you got away with it big time, but it's just the trust of the bounce. You got a big fella, because his action is a little bit inconsistent, and when he hits the pitch around about a good length, and you're talking about a good length, 5 metre length, anything short than that was probably the 6 metre length. Because of his action, because of how tall, and because of the way he hits the deck, getting the ball to come nicely onto the middle of the bat is not trustworthy.
Good catch, Multi back into attack. England are 90 for 4, and Moeen goes after that first ball. And Shafane Rutherford is able to field that just backward of square there.
But I think what we talked about, me and Chews have been talking about and screaming at the TV in the last game about the lengths that both teams were bowling. Yeah, that's the length you want to bowl. Hit the middle of the pitch, let the natural variation of the surface, and the older ball, especially for somebody who's so tall, and from a pace point of view, that for me is your variation, the natural variation of the surface. It wasn't evident in the last game.
Multi to Livingston. It's the off drive from Liam Livingston for 1 run. Andre Russell fields that.
That's good, down the ground. Just keep telling the batter to hit you down the ground. If he wants to play the big shot across the line, as long as you're driving it into the surface, in and around the sort of off stump, and if it turns, then the batter's got to put up with that. If it doesn't, it goes on and you challenge the front pad of the bowl.
Multi in again to Moeen Ali. Moeen Ali has gone for the big shot again. This time he does. That goes way over the mid-wicket boundary. It just sat up. It was too short. It was arts in Moeen Ali to bring out the pull shot or hook shot, sorry, and that is a 6 for Moeen Ali.
That's a shocker from Moti. It really is. I think Moti especially struggles to put pace on the ball and actually get it into a good fuller area where that's more natural for a Kilo Sane. When Moti tries to bowl it quicker, he drags it down.
This time he does go quicker and a bit straighter, although does it just slightly leg side, and Moeen Ali's able to use the pace on the ball to get 1 there on the leg side, and that brings England one shy of 100, 99 for 4, with 2 balls to go in this 13th over. Interesting ploy by Multi to go around the wicket to Moeen, and this is the final ball of the over. Liam Livingstone again works that or tucks that into the leg side for 1, and that does bring up England's 100. There will be 1 more ball, off this over to go. It brings up England's 100. They've lost 4 wickets in order to do it. The surface is, as Steve Harmison says, there's some inconsistencies in the surface, but you do have to find the right line and length to take advantage of it. It's not easy batting out there. Again, Moeen goes after Gudakesh Multi, but this time Shea Holt is able to come round at long on, and Moeen is able to come back for 2, and that will bring an end to the 13th over. Good over for England, 12 off it. England are 102 for 4. Moeen and Liam Livingstone clearly are trying to set this up for a final 5 charge, and that over was a good one to get going in that regards.
Yeah, it's poised nicely. This game it's at the who's going to blink first and go big point. England can bat the next 3 overs without losing a wicket. You'd expect England to get a total in the region of 175. West Indies make the right decision, make the right call. Somebody from the field come out and play a blinder, and a good catch or a brilliant run out, and all of a sudden could drag the game back in the West Indies' favour and restrict it. So the game is nicely poised here with 7 overs to go. Andre Russell's going to come back into the attack, and I think this is a good move as well. Experienced bowler.
Andre Russell's gone for 40 runs of his first overs, goes gun barrel straight at Liam Livingstone, and Livingstone is able to just drive that down to long on for 1.
And that's it. Use the surface, use the middle of the surface, or use your Yorker. It just seems that anything that's been put in the slot is just put there, exactly what you mean, just put there, floated there, and that gives the batter freedom to hit the ball all around the ground. But when the bowler's trying to bowl it with velocity, with hitting the surface or hitting the Yorker, nailing your Yorker, there's a lot more ball, not more on the ball, which means it's a little bit more difficult to face my batter.
Well, Moeen Ali went after Andre Russell there. He wanted to play that to the mid-wicket region, or certainly backwards of square, but he catches the outside edge. Nicholas Pooran went full length for the dive. It just evades him. Yeah, genuine edge there from Moeen Ali, but there's no slip. Gets away with it, 4 runs.
Yeah, unlucky here from Andre Russell. He's hit the pitch hard. It just bounced a touch. Moeen Ali's expecting that to come probably waist high, and it's bounced just a little bit higher, and he's got the leading edge, trying to hit it through mid-wicket, and it flew past Pooran. He didn't have a chance.
Moeen backs away. Russell goes wide and gets away with it. In the tramlines?
No, good call for me. Moeen moved away from the ball, so he made it look a lot wider than it actually was. I think that is in and around the... We've got a red line as a wide guideline, so no, I'm happy with that. I'm not just talking as a bowler point of view. I think it was the right call by the umpire.
I only say this because we've seen some wides not given and some given which weren't. This time Russell goes leg side. I think Moeen should have put that one away. It was a slower ball. Moeen was almost through the shot before it reaches him. Was almost like a dug it in. Russell, yeah, a bit of a cutter there. Moeen's, well, he actually gloves it. He does glove it, but it bounces. That's how much pace wasn't on the ball, but it falls short of Nicholas Pooran.
Yeah, good short ball from Andre Russell. Just dragged it into the surface, dragged his fingers across it as well. So just looped towards Moeen. Didn't pick it early enough and wasn't able to change what he was trying to do.
This one Moeen does go after. He goes after the hook. It's a short ball. Has he got enough? Again, Moeen. Moeen is certainly fighting fire with fire here. Plugs in the outfield once again in the deep mid-wicket outfield. The boundary riders can't come in quick enough, and there's a clear plan here to Moeen, but Moeen's ready to take it on.
Yeah, the plan is to hit the surface hard. That's what they should have been doing the other night. And that one there, just the toe edge of the bat, landed in between the 30-yard circle and the boundary. Good bowling from Andre Russell. Moeen's just practicing the uppercut, thinking because of the bounce and the way the ball's bouncing, he could go over third as opposed to trying hitting the cross-bat shot. But just shows you from the other night how poorly both teams bowled the other night, because they pitched it up, put it in the slot, and these guys didn't just hit it out of the ground. They were hitting it 10 rows back. At this minute in time, they're struggling to get it for 4, never mind to get it for 6. The ball is falling 20, 30 yards short of the boundary riders, and that was a huge difference from the other night. And the surface is nowhere near as flat the other night to what it is now. This is exactly the same type of surface.
Russell around the wicket to Livingston is in the block hole there, and Livingston can only drive that down the ground too long off for 1. That brings an end to a good over there from Andre Russell. 7 off it. He's gone for 21 off his 3 overs. England 109 for 4 from 14. Current run rate is 7.79. I think West Indies will be happy with that. They do have to work out how their death bowling is going to go. Who's going to bowl the final 4? You'd imagine that Holder will bowl 2 of them. Maybe Russell has to bowl 1, but I'm not sure who's going to bowl the other. They certainly have to bowl the spinners out. It's whether they have a spinner for the 17th over or not. It's interesting, Harvey, because you just said there, excuse me, that both sides bowled poorly. I think that was something that kind of went like under the radar with England's bowling performance, because as much as West Indies were obviously defeated by 70 odd runs, they were like 190 of 13 overs or whatever it might have been. Anyway, so Zakir Hussain will bowl out. Drifts that one onto Liam Livingstone's legs. There'll be no run there.
No, in the last game with 267 on the ball, all you got to do is land the ball 120 times on the pitch, and the likelihood is you were going to win the game.
Again, wicket to wicket from Zakir Hussain. Works that to long on, or short long on for 1.
Yeah, I just think they didn't use the sort of the surface to their huge advantage in the last game, and I think that's what the West Indies have learnt, and that's why they're in a ridiculous better position. Executed their plans much better.
Again, around the wicket to Moeen, and Moeen comes down the ground, goes straight over Zakir Hussain's head, and doesn't get enough. Well, West Indies have got the wicket there, but they nearly gave that one away. Moeen went down the ground. Andre Russell was stationed at long off. He had to kind of come straightish to take the catch. I thought he'd already taken the catch, but maybe his momentum was about to make him go over the boundary ropes, and he threw a very poor relay catch to, I think it's Akil Hussain. They're going to have to check it because Akil had to dive full length, literally onto the ground to take that, and they'll have to check to see if that went. I think it's good, but I think they'll have to check if that actually touched ground first.
No, I think it's good. I think it's Rothman Powell that he's thrown it to as Andre Russell.
Sorry, of course,
he's down the ground. Moeen Ali's had to come out of his crease, and he's clothed it. And I think that's again back to what we're talking about, using the surface. So Andre Russell gets two hands on it. He's going towards the boundary. His right foot's planted. Plants his left foot. Goes to throw it to Rothman Powell. He gets rid of the ball comfortably before the ball, before his feet are anywhere near the rope. And Rothman Powell, it's hilarious because Rothman Powell thinks this is flying at him. He's realised that he's underclubbed it. He's gone with an 8 iron as in 7 iron, and he's had to dive it forward. And the captain takes a smart catch. I think Andre Russell might have been fine just to keep going. I think the way they practice this so comfortably now in practice, in field and practice and in drills, that as a team, not only do you bat together as partners, you bowl together as partners. Probably in the last 10 years, you field together in a partnership.
Yep.
And Andre Russell and Rothman Powell have come together to get Akil Hussain the wicket and the valuable wicket of Moeen Ali.
So the two Jamaicans combined down at the intersection of the long on and long of boundary. There was a great still there of Rothman Powell just standing still waiting for the ball to come to him. Before the realisation hit, they had to pull out a full length dive to collect that. But it's Akil Hussain round the wicket to Sam Curran, who is the new batter at the crease, and he works that through the covers for 1 to immediately get off strike. England are 111 for 5. Did mine catch that toe end? Didn't catch him. Didn't even want to go straight there, mate.
It's the surface again. It's just held in the surface. It's held in the footmarks where he is because it's a little bit wider. And I think the bat just turned in Moeen's hand, which meant it didn't get the full velocity of the middle of the bat.
Wicket to wicket from Akil Hussain. There's a dot ball. Livingston doesn't have any room to do anything with that. Possibly Moeen's shot. I mean, Moeen was going after the bowling anyway, but maybe he felt that himself and Liam needed to get a move on. Who knows? But the wicket has fallen, and Liam Livingstone dabs that into the offside, final ball of the over. There'll be no run there as well, and that ends Akil Hussain's spell. A very good spell of bowling by Akil Hussain. He took some serious tap in the 4th T20, but this one has come back well. 2 for 20 of 4. England are 111 for 5 with 5 overs to go. Steve Harmison, a few words from you before I hand to John Norman. This game is very well poised.
Yeah, well poised. Big wicket of Moeen Ali for Akil Hussain. West Indies have fielded very, very well. But I'll put it once John Norman picks up to Alex Tudor, who else is coming in. If you go and do all the work like Andre Russell has there, and you throw the ball to Rothman Powell, it's like Rothman Powell is credited with a catch that you've done all the work with. So, yeah, as a fast bowler, that would be disappointing from my point of view. I've done all the work. I'm getting to the ball. I've caught the ball. But it goes down to Rothman Powell. But I think the West Indies captain will probably say, I'm not bothered who gets his name on the sheet, as long as a player like Moeen Ali is on his way back.
Listen, Harmy, with the way the game's going, I think they're going to have to sort of look at that, because we're seeing that more and more now, aren't we?
Sam Curran facing up, 1 not out on the ball. The ball goes to Rothman Powell in his customary position, miles from the bat at long on. 112 for 5 then, England. Asked to bat first. They've lost wickets regularly. Phil Salt top scoring, not for the first time, but he didn't reach 50 for the first time in 3 matches. He was out for 38. Moeen Ali, the last man to go. Relay catch that Harmy and Tudes are talking about. I mean, in fairness, Powell did have to do a little bit more than he would have intended, because Russell did underthrow it to him, didn't he? Holder round the wicket, and this is in Livingston's arc, and he has smashed this over towards the little temporary scoreboard, and it goes for 6.
Johnny, did this?
I don't know, but the guys, I haven't seen you this impressed all series. There's a guy in an orange top who's dived and caught the ball one-handed, but he's grounded it. He's grounded. He's Mitchell Starked it at Lords. That's not out, lads. That's 6 runs from the bat.
Not like you to rub that in there, Johnny.
Short again, but this time outside off stump and clubbed away. Fielded though at deep extra cover. So Livingston feeling it's time to go now. The number 4 bat. He's been playing in a role that we haven't really grown accustomed to, coming in that high up the order, but it seems to have worked somehow. 54 not out in the last match, 30 from 18 deliveries in the third, 17 in the second, came in down the order, 27 in the first match of this 5-game series. Curran facing up, a swing of the bat, he misses. Little look to the umpire, but that's in the arc. Slower delivery from Holder, slanting across the left-handed Sam Curran. 119 for 5. Yeah, it was a brilliant attempt, wasn't it?
That was quality. That could be catching a series, Johnny. But as you said, as he went to ground, his hand just was turned the wrong way round. He grounded it. He's
a local lad. He's wearing the Trimbagos Knight Riders hat. Short again. On the pull is Curran. Sets off quickly, and there's a run in from the boundary by is that Champagne Rutherford? Is he back on the track? He did pick up a little injury earlier today. Either way, just 1 run to the score, and I think England want to see more of Livingston on strike at the moment.
Yeah, he's seen it well at the minute, just giving himself time. He's 28 from 26 balls. He's given himself time, and sometimes in T20 cricket, that's what has to happen, especially when you've lost wickets around you. He needs to be there in the end.
Holder again. This is a touch fuller again, going across the right-handed Livingston, but he can't time this attempted drive, and it's no run. So 120 for 5 then England. 4 overs remaining, so 24 balls remaining in the innings. We've had quite a few messages on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube chat box. Where's the guy on the laptop, says Savitri Charles. Maybe in relation to Johnson Charles, who makes the team today. I think you're talking about Jared Kimber. He unfortunately is missing this one out. He's got family duties this close to Christmas, I imagine. We've also had a message from Hugh Oxborough. He's got in contact via cricket_TS. I'll read that out in a second, but Moti is in to bowl his final over. It's a full toss, and Sam Curran latches onto that, but can't get it past Charles, funnily enough. Stationed on the cover boundary. 121 for 5. Pathetic, says Hugh. Maybe it's Andy Jacobs. The defending champions losing to a team who were bottom of their first round group in Australia. On this showing, they've no hope of defending their trophy next year. Angry face. That's from Hugh Oxborough. Over the wicket this time. Actually round the wicket this time, but from Moti. And Livingston's got a grin on his face. He feels like he's missed out, because this has been fired down the leg side, well wide. Attempted sweep by Livingston. All he had to do was get a little bit on it, and that would have flown to the boundary. Oh, he's popped it back to the bowler. Livingston's gone. Moti has struck again, and one ball feeling like he missed out. Liam Livingston is out.
That's a massive wicket for West Indies. The dangerous Liam Livingston has just plucked it straight back to Moti. Caught on bold chance he weren't going to drop that. And Liam Livingston has to depart for 28. Well constructed 28. He took 29 balls, gave himself a little bit of time. But England 121 for 6. Live on TalkSport.
Donovan Pert says, I'm in Montserrat listening. Good vibes. Well, it will be good vibes if you're a West Indies fan, because they keep making those inroads. Every time it looks like England are just putting together a little partnership, they lose a wicket. And now we've got Chris Woakes. Now he can biff a ball, but this is where you want your Brook and your Livingston, isn't it, Hughes? Not your Curran and your Woakes.
No, you sort of want them for the last few. As you said, England have lost wickets at critical stages. Rothman Powell and West Indies won't care about that. They need to get up to a respectable total to give their bowlers a chance. West Indies got to be happy with their work so far.
Well, you'd think, and Moti certainly would. He has shrugged off those painful figures of 0 for 55 from 4 overs in the 4th T20, 3 for 24, and he's in again, slip in place, pushed back to the bowler by Woakes' first ball.
Yeah, and that can happen in T20 cricket. Villain the game before and hero the next. He's got 3 for 3 good wickets. Dangerous salt with an absolute perler of a delivery.
This is flicked off the pads by Woakes, who's forward, and again playing defensively, can't beat the fielder stationed close to the bat. What an over this is. 1 run from it and the wicket. Woakes full toss and he nearly spoons it straight to short mid-wicket. Can't beat the fielder. Applause all around the ground, and that is a wonderful little spell of 4 overs, 3 wickets, and they went for just 24 runs from Gudakesh Moti.
Yeah, he's got to be happy with that, and the captain in the West Indies. Exactly what Rothman Powell required, and he delivered. 3 massive wickets, Liam Livingston, Brook, and a dangerous Phil Salt in amongst that. As you said, Johnny, the game before, he went all around the park, didn't quite get it right, looked off colour a little bit, but he's come back when the West Indies need him with the series 2-2.
So what have we got, Hughes? We've got 1 from Russell, 1 from Thomas and 1 from Holder, so all right on pace. The spin is done. 5 wickets for Hussain and Moti. So Ahmed, Rashid, possibly Jackson Livingston, you never know. You feel that England are going to be relying on those, and it is O'Shane Thomas set to bowl his 4th. He's gone at 10s, 32 from his 3 overs, and he's in. Right arm over the wicket. Sam Curran facing, and this is a length delivery, and it's cut straight to the fielder, about 5 yards back from the circle at extra cover, no run.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if West Indies, obviously, you know, they're watching how the West Indies are going about bowling in this innings. Just no messing around, no real mess around with too many change up, just hitting back of a length, try not to create too much room. I think they're going to have to do more of the same.
O'Shane again in. This is slanting across Curran. It's giving him a bit of width, but it's that length that Curran is finding difficult to get away. On the cut, no timing, 1 run. West Indies will be happy with their work so far as we approach the midway point of the 18th over. England 1-2-2 for 6.
Yeah, 100%, Johnny, they will be. With the carnage that was on display in the last game, records being broken left, right and centre. And they've come back, as Rothman Powell said, different game plan. Let's not mess around with all the variations, just let's hit the wicket, let the natural variations of the wicket do the work. And they've got England 122 for 6.
Chris Woakes has faced 3 deliveries and he's yet to get off the mark. Just having a look around the field. Jason Holder coming inside the circle at mid-off. Long on is there and Holder is in. Woakes steps away. Thomas follows him and he can only push the ball. Woakes trundles across the floor to the fielder at point. Woakes gets off the mark, but England needs some fireworks.
Again, Johnny, though, back of a length, following him. Chris Woakes moving to the leg side to try and create an angle, a bit of room. He just followed him. Sort of that waist height. Was only able to just to place on the offside for a singles. Good bowling.
England have slowed down since the halfway stage. Does that say something about the pitch or the bowling? We shall see. Again, bowled into the pitch. Curran's on the cut. Can't beat the fielder. And it's no run. 123 for 6.
He'll feel like he's missed out there. There's a little bit of room. It was back of the length, but he had the room. But he's just found the extra cover fielder who's on the 30-yard circle. Dot ball, only 2 runs so far off the first 4 balls.
Win probability on Cricinfo now saying 75% the way of West Indies. As Curran steps to the offside, pushes this ball out to point, but again, this is where West Indies want to be. The run rate now has dipped below 7 and over. When you look at the power on show for the West Indies, surely would have taken this. This is why they wanted to bowl first. 3 runs from this Thomas over. He's got 1 before he's bowled out. And England need boundaries.
And they need them fast, Johnny, let me tell you. 13 deliveries left.
Couple of tweaks to the field. Fine leg comes up into the circle. As O'Shane Thomas is in, and Wokes pushes this up to mid-on. He wants a second, but Jason Holder's running in, and it will be Wokes facing the first ball of the 19th over. 4 runs coming from O'Shane Thomas, 4th, and the West Indies are in pole position. England 125 for 6 with 12 balls remaining in the innings.
Yeah, you got to take your hat off. That's good bowling, but again, not getting too funky with the bowling, just going back of a length, straight, not allowing too much width, and just allowing the wicket to give you its natural variation with the pace and the bounce. And that's been their tactic tonight, and it's been a good one. And hopefully England have been watching and analysing, and they're going to have to go about it around about the same way. They'll be messing around with these slower balls, but as you said, Johnny, with the power that the West Indies display with their batters, they're going to have to get it right, otherwise they're going to chase this down really quickly.
Andre Russell then, again another player. He's just shown his experience, hasn't he? We've seen the best. We've seen some expensive bowling from Russell. We've seen him hit some big shots, and he's played all 5 games as well. I don't think many people would have expected him to have played all 5. As he's in, and he has beaten Chris Wokes. The camera follows the ball. It should stay on the off stump. It's been pushed back. Russell has got one through the defences of Wokes. England are 7 down, 125 for 7 in the 19th.
Well, that's a serious delivery, John. As my dad always used to say, bootlace, son. He's come round the wicket with the angle and it's hit the base off stump. Nothing that Chris Wokes can do about that. He's early and he's in. He's only faced 6 deliveries, but he has to depart for 2. And Andre Russell is on absolute fire. Amazing, isn't it? The change of a game, just, you know, as you said, he's been very expensive in the games that he's played. He's bowled at top, he's come at the death, and he's gone round the park. Tonight, it's been different. He's kept it simple, no messing around with the deliveries. Sometimes people try and reinvent the wheel, Johnny. Just keep it simple. Round the wicket with the angle, a little bit what Stuart Broad used to do when he played in ODI cricket. Cram the batters for him. You ain't getting a better delivery than that, let me tell you.
Well called, Alex Tudor. Rayan Ahmed is the new batter. And England now, the live forecast, which was hovering around 190 for some of their innings, has dropped alarmingly. 145 now. England would still need 20 runs from the last 11 balls. Rayan Ahmed is the new bat. Andre Russell, tail up, is in. Round the wicket, wide of the crease again, and is hit straight back to Russell, who somehow has taken the catch. Ahmed's got to go first ball. Russell may have injured himself in pulling off that snorter.
That's an unbelievable catch. Big strong man Andre Russell, he runs in. And it's a low full toss. He's gone for that Yorker again. Rayan Ahmed is hit it powerfully back. And he's got it in his right hand, but as his left hand has come and his hands are obviously sort of cramped to sort of try and catch it. It looked like it's just put pressure on it. But listen, when you take a wicket, that pain soon goes. And Rayan Ahmed's gone first ball. England under pressure, 125 for 8. 10 deliveries left.
I don't know what your favourite caught and bowled ever is. I don't know if you took one that springs to mind. I don't know if you've got one that you think of in the history of the game. But my favourite caught and bowled is one that took place, must be the best part of 25 years ago now, 30 years. Curtly Ambrose bowling to Alan Border in a white, well, it wasn't white ball then, it was red ball, pyjama game. Try and find it on YouTube. He is absolutely flayed back to the bowler, and he's so nonchalant catching it, you actually think it's gone past him. Either way, Russell on a hat-trick, he's in, and this is also spooned up, not too far from the right hand of Russell. Rashid gets off the mark first ball. Wow, well, that would have been something. As it is, Rashid's still there. West Indies, though, are enjoying their cricket after two painful displays. And truth be told, Tudes, you look through all of the bowlers, they have all done the job. The fielders have backed them up. And this is like night and day from what we saw in the last match.
Yeah, it's like they just wanted the series to have something on it, for them to come alive again, and that's what they've done. They've been absolutely brilliant this first portion of the game. Everything working, big players stepping up when you need them. Your experienced cricketers, Andre Russell, Holder, they've come to the party.
9 balls left then, and that live forecast has just dropped down to 142. And England are going to do, well, England will have to bowl West Indies out. I mean, England will have to bowl West Indies out anyway if they're to win this match, you feel. Wide, and that is cut up and dropped. Fielder Akil Hussain running in from third, and Sam Curran, who sends Rashid back. There was another run on offer there, has had life, and I talk about the fielders backing the bowlers up. It was a tough chance. Hussain had to make a lot of ground running in from the boundary. He wouldn't have been expecting the ball to come to him in that part of the field. He got 2 hands to it. He's put down a tough chance there, Tudes.
He has, but once he got to there, Johnny, he made tremendous ground to try and get to it. Got 2 hands to it, and once you do, you should be taking it.
Russell again, he goes full again. Curran winds up, tries to smash that over long off. Can only get a thick edge onto his boot. No run, eventful over.
Yeah, nothing quite happening for England at the minute. Andre Russell's feeling it, bowling well. He's got that sort of bounce, going back to his mark. Normally he's always sort of, there's a pain in his body that he's normally feeling, hobbling. Not tonight. They can feel it, the West Indies. Series on the line, 2-2. As you said, Johnny, last 2 games, they've not performed well. But in 18.5, they have done so far tonight.
1 ball left of the 19th then. Andre Russell has gone for just 24 runs. Sam Curran, 8 not out. Yorker on off stump. Thick outside edge. Jason Holder runs past it, but no damage done. 1 run coming from it. 4 runs from Russell's 4th over. 2 wickets as well. And England find themselves well short. 129 for 8. 6 deliveries remaining. And an over that will be bowled by Jason Holder.
Yeah, and we're just looking at the bowling figures. Russell 2 for 25 from his 4. Thomas none for 36. Hussain 2 for 20. And Moti 3 for 24. And 3 big wickets he got. Absolute pearl. If you haven't seen it, you need to. The ball that he gets Phil Salt with, after getting dispatched down the ground with a massive 6, comes back neck ball for perfect left armer's delivery. As you say, Jason Holder's 1 for 21 with 6 balls left. England 129 for 8. They need some fireworks.
So what we're going to get here from Holder then, slower ball bouncers, couple of those, couple going across Curran.
He's going to try his Yorkers, maybe hitting the wicket. Curran's not quite his rhythm. He's 9 from 12, so he's not found it easy tonight. Just don't get too funky with the bowling. Keep it simple.
Here is Holder. Start of the final over. Curran is ready. It is a short delivery. It's pulled, and Curran would have had his heart in his mouth for a second, but he will come back for 2 runs. So Johnson Charles station at mid-wicket.
Yeah, he just banged that one in. Curran's had to fetch it a little bit, try and get it, heave it onto that leg side. Johnson Charles out there, patrolling sort of deep mid-wicket. Deep square, running around, picking it up, throwing it back. 2 runs first ball.
11 from 13, Curran, as he sets himself. This is Yorker length, wide of Sam Curran, and there's a run out. Adil Rashid called through for the second, selfless batting, no real option there from England. Curran had to get back on strike, but the fielder, Johnson Charles, I think, running in from mid-wicket, has fired the ball in, and Jason Holder's done the rest.
Yeah, Jason Holder's going full in length, and it's really good fielding, quick release, and unselfish. Obviously Rashid knows that Sam Curran's been in for a while, so trying to get him on strike for going his wicket. It's a good take from Jason Holder. It's the skipper, Rothman Pound, who was there at long off, running with a little flick, and Adil Rashid has to go for 1. England 132 for 9, 4 balls left.
And England are in danger of getting bowled out inside the 20. Reece Topley. England will hope he's still there at the end, having watched Sam Curran hit 4 boundaries. They can get up to a score, I don't know, 145, dare I say 150 tunes. Maybe, just maybe, but
not looking likely at the moment, Johnny. He's just not found his timing at all, Sam Curran, tonight. You know, he's a very powerful hitter, especially at the back end, and even in T20 and for franchise, he sort of bats at number 3.
Holder is in, again it's short, and Curran may be caught at long off, and is. The England innings is wrapped up. Rutherford with the safe hands, taking it to his right. Curran trying to muscle the ball, really. Went aerial, didn't have the distance. Jason Holder has taken a wicket in his final over, a run out as well, and England's innings does end within the allotted 20 overs. They've been bowled out for 132. West Indies need 133 to take the game and the series.
Yeah, they've been clinical in the field and with their bowling. What they've done tonight, Jason Holder just banging that one in, bowling that cutter, going across Sam Curran. It's the bottom portion of his bat, wasn't able to get the distance, and Rutherford wasn't going to drop that. Safe pair of hands running round, catching it sort of mid-drift, and the West Indies walking off with a little spring in their step. Really good first half, bowling England out 132 with 3 balls left. And you look down that scorecard with Salt, Butler, Livingston, Moe and Curran getting starts, but no one really going on. With the carnage in the last game, a total reverse, 132 all out. And that West Indies changing room is going to be full of confidence.
Yep, absolutely. West Indies, the skipper Rothman Powell, who I think has impressed all of us in his time as captain of this great side, spoke really well to both Samuel Badri and also Sam Ellard prior to the game. Said that his team had gone away, they talked about things, they come back today with some new ideas, and they executed them. They've changed the bowling order. For the first time in 5, there was no Akil Hussain in the first 2 overs. He bowled over number 3 and 5, picking up a wicket as well. Andre Russell surprised all of us by bowling the first over. It went for just 5. O'Shane Thomas brought in, replacing Matthew Ford. And he didn't pick up a wicket, but he bowled tidily, and his 4th over, excellent. And in and amongst that, the spin really did the damage in the middle orders. We asked a question about how Moti would come back after yielding 55 runs from 4 overs. Well, he came back well. He picked up 3 wickets, and there was 2 for Akil Hussain as well. Jason Holder with 2, including 1 in the final over. as well as a run out, and Andre Russell taking 2 in 2 in the 19th over. It's been an all-round excellent effort from West Indies. England, Phil Salt top scoring again, but unfortunately from the English perspective, coming nowhere near to the centuries he picked up in the last 2 games. He was actually the third man out, 60 for 3, and that was at the first stage where West Indies got on top. England had got off to a decent start. Butler the first to go, caught for 11 from Jason Holder's first over. Will Jacks deceived by an absolute beauty, playing back and bowled for 7. Salt then went for 38, 1 ball after smashing Moti for a 6. Brooke caught behind for 7. A little partnership of 40 between Ali and Livingston, but just when England felt that they were in a position to push on, Ali was dismissed. Good relay catch for 23. Livingston dismissed for 28. And that was it really. Wokes 2, Ahmed first baller, Rashid run out for 1, and Sam Curran in the final over. So, all to do really. England's bowlers are going to have to perform as well as West Indies and some if they are to bowl the West Indies out, because you feel that's what is going to be needed. England 132 all outside 20, so West Indies need 133.
England have got a lot of work to do to try and win this match. Steve Harmison, I'll come to you first. If they're going to win this, how do they win it?
New ball wickets, power play wickets. Rhys Topley will bowl the first over, and I think they've got to go with Chris Wokes. They've got to try and give it the best chance to get the ball to swing, get the ball pitched up. It will give scoring options for the West Indies, but I think with only 133 as a target, I think England have to risking a bit to lose the game to try and catch the outside edge and try and put West Indies under pressure.
Rhys Topley's going to take the new ball for England, which is probably the right move here. He was going to face up to the right-handed Brandon King. King got a duck, I think it was a golden duck in the previous game. He'll go across King, and it's the immediate LBW shout. Is going to go down the leg side, but it's right on the money there from Rhys Topley in terms of pitching it up. Tudes, is that the length Rhys Topley needs aim for, if not the line?
Yeah, that's right. He's going to have to get it up there to get the ball to swing. That's what he does tremendously well. Seen bolt upright with that little bit of fade to the leg side, just going down. But yeah, if he gets that a little bit straighter, Brandon King's going to have to be mindful.
Brandon King also left out of the West Indies test side to go to Australia, but he is a good T20 player, and he immediately guides that second ball to the leg side. They'll try and come back for 2. Johnson Charles tells him to stay put. Worth reminding fans who did not hear the teams at the toss, Johnson Charles is in for Carl Mayers, and O'Shane Thomas replaced Matthew Ford. Earlier on, if you missed the summation of the England innings, Phil Salt top scored once again, but England just lost their way. They lost wickets at regular intervals. West Indies producing probably their best bowling of the whole series. Topley again, this time to Charles, drifts onto the pads, and Charles is just able to tuck that. No, he's going to call it leg byes. In fact, there's no bat on that, and Rhys Topley just not finding the right line with that delivery. 4 runs given away.
Yeah, he's getting it to swing, which is encouraging from Rhys Topley. Just arms off the thigh pad and gone down past Adil Rashid to find leg. Seam position is brilliant. Just needs to get it a little bit more towards off stump. Trying to get, he'd be encouraged because both batters are trying to hit the ball square of the wicket. Both batters have fallen over.
Johnson Charles definitely won't hang around, and you can see why with that shot just lofts that into the covers. And actually there might be a better throw may well have tested Johnson Charles there. He wasn't running quickly. Bit of sloppy cricket there by Johnson Charles, but he gets away with it.
He's running in quick now, Sandair. But yeah, he's not going to mess around. He keeps it simple. If it's up, it's off. If it's short, he's going to go after it as well. He's running between the wickets. Is not something that he does very much, because he just looks to hit boundaries.
He'll definitely, if he does get off, it will be a very, very quick start. Rhys Topley, this time it's a dot ball there. Much better line there by Rhys Topley. I think for someone like Johnson Charles, who you know is going to go after the ball, you just want to pitch it up every time.
Yeah, well, as I say, you've got to risk risk a bit, and that is the big risk. I was about to say, is Johnson Charles the perfect player from West Indies point of view when you're chasing 1-3-3 if he gets 15 balls, because he can put a massive hole in that 1-3-3 if he can manage to get himself to face 15 balls.
Final ball of the first over. This time Johnson Charles goes leg side, skews off the inner portion of his bat. There'll be no run, fielded at short cover, and there, or short mid wicket, sorry, and there will be no run, and West Indies are 7 without loss after 1 over.
Yeah, it's an encouraging start from Reece Topley. As you said, he's always looking with that new ball to get that shape back into the right-hander. He did, just the line was just a little off, by being encouraging, and it makes the batter think. As you say, when you only got 132 to defend, you need those wickets early, and as you say, England need to be brave with their field placings, with the way they bowl. Yes, you may go for a boundary or two, but as Harmy rightly says, you know, you might get a nick or two, and you need your fielders in the right positions. You've got to be brave. Don't want to be messing around with slower balls and that. You've got to try and use this ball while it's hard, while it's new, and try and make a dent into this West Indies batting lineup.
Chris Woakes takes new ball. I heard Harmy say before, I think even before we went on air, that, or maybe it was just as we started, Harmy spoke about, can you have Woakes and Topley when both want to bowl in the power play, or should bowl in the power play? It's Woakes to take the second over. Charles tucks that into the offside. Reece Topley will field that at gully, and there'll be 1 run.
I think the reason why I said that, and I think it's moving towards the World T20, is I think when you look at the balance of England's side, you've got Jofra Archer, you've got Mark Wood to come back. The likelihood is, of the way Chris Woakes and Reece Topley both perform in T20 cricket, they both need to bowl 3 overs in a power play. They're not good death bowlers. The bowlers that you bring back, but they are bowlers that utilise the ball moving in the power play. Can you have 6 overs from 2 bowlers in a power play? I'm not so sure.
Previous ball was actually Brandon King. It's Charles who's back on strike, and Charles brings out the swivel pull, and it's a 6. It's the first 6 of Johnson Charles' innings. That's what he's been sent out to. He's almost like a pinch hitter. And I want to say he excels in that role, but if you've got someone who's willing to just know their role, just go straight after the ball. If you're out, you're out.
Yeah, to say 15 balls. If you can get him to face 15 balls, that could be the difference between 25 and 30 runs. And that's a hole in any target that you're going to chase. And it just, all it does is it gives the boys, the players coming in, just that, especially the better players, a chance to give them 1 or 2 balls to get a chance to see and acclimatise and get used to, rather than have to go from ball 1.
Chris Woakes, well,
he's come from Brian Lara to Steve Harmison there in 2 balls. Well, I'm not so sure what he was trying to do. I was going to make the point of before that ball, he hit one to extra cover, which just looped off the bat in the air and changed his bat first. That was it. After the first ball of the game, first ball he faced, he's run down the wicket. I think it was a brand new bat, shiny stickers, and he's waved it at the dressing room. I don't like that. Give me a different one. And then he brings out another bat. It looks as though it's about 4 or 5 years old. Looks as though it's been oiled well. It's been well looked after, and he belts it out of ground for 6, and then plays a shot at number 11 wood.
What will Johnson Charles bring out this time? This time he guides it just past the diving Reece Topley at gully. He can't take the catch or squirt away for 4, but Johnson Charles won't mind. West Indies off to a bit of a flyer.
Showing a little finesse there, Harmy, for you after playing that clubby number 11 shot the ball before. Just had a little bit of whiff, just guided it. Reece Topley's in the 30-yard circle, sort of wide up third. The spearing dive wasn't able to stop it, flew down there. Ball's new, fresh. He's 11 off this over so far, 2 balls to go.
It's got to be straighter. It's got to be at the stumps to Johnson Charles. You can't give him width. Can't give him a chance to get his hands free.
Ball too short.
Ball the top of middling. The ball's got to hit the top of middling off.
See what Chris Woakes does here. This one's a bit straighter. Pitched up a bit more as well, but Johnson Charles able to run through for 1 run to bring Brandon King on strike. Is Woakes bowling too short?
It was a bit too short, but I think he's giving Johnson Charles a chance to get his hands free at the ball, as opposed to bowling at the stumps and freeing them up. But you mentioned that last ball before, Tunes, that went through for 4. I was good at that shot as well, especially off somebody fast, because I was like, right, I'm going to stay leg side of it. I'm going to get a full bit of the bat on it, which means I've been watching it and I've hit it, and I'm hoping that somebody in the gully is going to catch this.
Final ball, and again Brandon King tucks that It's Reece Topley who's actually at short third man, and there's one there. And that brings an end to the second over. West Indies 20 without loss after 2. And I think, again, Harmy made mention of it. When it's such a small, Tudes made the mention of it, that when it's such a small total, you've got a license to go out as openers and say, well, at least one of these wickets is a freebie, because if we take a big chunk out of this, the game's done.
Yeah, you just want to just sort of break that run chase really early, isn't it? You know, if these guys hang around for a period of time, you know, the game's going to be done. It's not even going to get to the 15th over, really, with the score being so small and with the power that they display. You know, but you have to take chances. The only way that England will win this game is by bowling the West Indies out.
Reece Topley to bowl the second over. This may well be a wicket. Brandon King has just spliced this high in the air, and it's taken by Jos Buttler, who is on the perimeter at a short mid-on position. Brandon King does indeed lose his wicket. Jos Buttler is cock-a-hoop there, and England have their first wicket.
Yeah, that's better. It's no width. It's not given King a chance to get his hands free. I think it's surface as well. I think it just disturbed the surface. It broke the surface. It was a decent length ball, not quite in the slot. And I think because it was tight to him, it was coming back to him, to Brandon King. He couldn't get his hands free. He couldn't get his hands through, and all he's done is it's actually probably hit the middle of the bat, but because his body weight was going back, the bat's facing up over, and it's just ballooned up in the air. And it was a good catch from Jos Buttler. It was in the air a long time, and it is a good start from the West Indies, but England have to keep trying to take wickets. They have to keep putting pressure on the West Indies by taking wickets, and you know, whenever Johnson Charles does come back onto strike, you feel as though they've got to get him out in the next 3 or 4 balls, because if they don't and he gets to that 12 to 15 ball, he could be 30, and if he's 30, then you'd say that's a long way from being game over from England.
The ovation you heard as the new batter came to the crease should tell you it's the hometown hero, Nicholas Pooran. Now, granted, West Indies were chasing 268 in the 4th T20, but Pooran got into his work immediately in the 4th T20. Will he be a bit more circumspect this time round? Topley on the money to Pooran. Pooran guides that into the offside for 1 run to bring Johnson Charles back on strike.
Yeah, the innings the other night, it was really impressive watching it at home with my parents, and he was in fantastic form. Got 39, 38 very quickly, and then just played 1 shot too many and held out sort of deep mid-wicket. But Reece Topley bowling well, keeping it up. King trying to go, and easy catch really for Jos Buttler on the 30-yard circle at mid-on. Good catch, safe pair of hands. But they need more of them.
Are you surprised, given how Phil struggled behind the stumps, that they didn't make a change back to Jos? I think we'll discuss after this ball. Reece Topley traced that one onto Johnson Charles's pads, and there'll be another bye there, and 1 more is added to West Indies total.
No, not for me. I think they're trying to have a look and giving all options, giving all chances, and Jos Buttler a chance to have a look at what's happening, try and control the game or change the game or impact the game from a different angle. You know, this might help Jos Buttler's angles from when he's behind the stumps, because when you're behind the stumps, you might see a player in the field at a certain angle, and you might think it's the right angle, but actually when you're in a different place, you realise to this bowler it's not.
Nicholas Pooran, I was wondering how long it'd take Nicholas Pooran to take someone on. It's his second ball, swivels on it, pulls it, it's a flat 6 straight over the mid-wicket boundary, backwards a square, and I guess we got our answer. Nicholas Pooran is if I see it and I think it's in my slot, I'm hitting it, irrespective of the match situation.
He really is a dangerous player in this format, white ball format. That's why he's sought after around the world for franchise cricket. Such a sweet timer of the ball. Topley just dropping short, and he latched onto that Brian Lara style.
This one goes wider from Topley. They've gone up for the catch, but I think it was Topley still got his hand in his air. Phil Salt is consulting. Neither Harmy or Tudes put their finger up. So
I think he's hit it.
Has he hit the ground as well?
He's hit the ground as well. I think if he's hit the bat, for me, if he's hit the bat, he should refer this. He's gone.
And time's
too
gone,
late.
so it's too late too.
That could be the negative of not having Jos Buttler behind the stumps, because of between Buttler, Salt and Moeen Ali, they've come up with 20 seconds of not having an idea of
it's hit the ground.
whether it's hit the bat or it's hit the ground. Bat's hit whether it's hit the ball or not. The bat's hit the ball or not. Nicholas Pooran is way wide of his body.
It's hard to tell without some kind of snicko to...
I think I would have had a look. I would definitely have had a look.
Anyways, they've not gone after it. Reece Topley goes wide again. Nicholas Pooran just leans into that one. He won't. It's brilliant fielding by Liam Livingston on the deep cover boundary. And Nicholas Pooran will only get 2 for that.
Yeah, they may have missed one, England, but Nicholas Pooran jumped on that one, given width and given the length. He's hit it to Liam Livingston, who's patrolling deep point boundary out there, getting 2 runs, and he's already 9 from 4 deliveries. West Indies run rate at 10s, 30 from 3 overs.
When you look at the game situation, Jude, you look at somebody like Pooran or Hope. It's so tempting in the dressing room to go, we need 133 to win. One of you two bat 40 balls for 40. One of you two bat 40 balls for 40, we've won the game. We've won the series. We win 3-2. Is there an ego too big in the game to change that? Is the ego too big in the game to have a different mindset?
Chris Wilkes will... Johnson Charles has certainly given us an array of strokes there. That one, I don't know if he knew what he... I'm not even sure if he knew what happened there, but it catches the inside portion of his bat and squirts out into the leg side, and they will run through for 1.
I think that's our generation of cricket. Harmy may be doing that. You know, you get sort of the... You know, the player who's just going to anchor and just, as you say, get 40 or 40 or whatever. But we're just watching the replay. There was definitely a noise, definitely a nick. I think England missed one there. There was definitely 2 noises, but Harmy and I were really confident that he definitely got bat on it. Definitely sounded woody. But
if he got bat on it, it's out.
Yeah, it is.
Because the ball went straight into the gloves.
Will England rue that decision to not go up to have that one reviewed? Nicholas Pooran tucks out into leg side for 1. Now, both of you said, is it harsh on Phil Salt though? Like, should someone else have come to him? And
Moeen Ali's there as well. Moeen Ali's there as well. And I think when it went, the camera was panned onto Josh Butler. Josh Butler shouting at Moeen Ali. He's not shouting at Phil Salt. He's shouting at Mo. You're the experienced player there. You take responsibility. You take the decision. I think with 133 on the board, and that's the total, you just take it.
Yeah.
Don't waste it.
And the player who it was as well, with Pooran.
Charles cut there for 1 and Spivel. Bit of an altercation between Salt and Pooran, but I think we'll get past that one. And 1 more to the total. West Indies 33 for 1.
He's such a dangerous player and in good touch as well, you know. Just take the risk. As you said, it was definitely 2 noises. And as Harmy rightly says, because it's hit the bat and it's gone straight through to Phil Salt, it's a catch and it's out. But it's that indecision. And that's when you have someone with inexperience, really.
It's weird though, because again the score's so low, so you've nothing to lose in that scenario. Chris Wilkes, and there's the wicket. Nicholas Pooran has chopped on. He's chopped on, and West England are right in this game now. Whether they chose not to take that review, it hasn't cost them, because Wilkes has got the wicket of Nicholas Pooran, climbed into Pooran a bit. Pooran was neither forwards nor back. Chops onto his stumps. And West Indies are 33 for 2.
Yeah, it makes no difference now. Really doesn't make no difference now. The dangerous Pooran goes, and it didn't. He's making signals as he's walking off. He's trudging off. His head's down, and he's signalling with his bat whether to play straight off the back foot or play the horizontal cut or pull shot. And he played neither. It was a 45-degree angle bat, which when you get on a slow wicket, you tend to have a lot of chop-ons. Ball bounced a little bit for him, and I think that's why he was still trying to play with the straight backs. I think he was expecting that to come around about waist high, but it bounced that little bit more, which meant he's on his tiptoes. Not the biggest man as Nicholas Pooran, and he's managed to get an under edge onto the stumps, and a massive wicket for England. Huge wicket. That was a huge wicket. This now, for me, is the partnership to break. If you can get Johnson Charles out inside the power play, or more importantly, the 50-over captain who's walked in, Shai Hope, out inside the power play, and you'd feel as though England have a chance.
I think Shai Hope is the key. because Shea Hope technically at this stage should just now play a normal, not a 50 over innings, but just guide the chase. Whether Johnson Charles can just rein himself in a bit on those, another question altogether. Chris Wilkes to the new batter, Shea Hope, who loud shout of no as it's fielded at mid-on.
Especially when the ball's still new. We were just watching a replay of Ryan trying to run it down with that. The way that they do it now is with the back face facing the ground. And it had a slight little angle which allowed that to ricochet onto the leg stump. And Chris Wilkes is happy as that, and so is England.
Should you've got forward or back to that? Anyways, before we have the answer to that, Wilkes to Hope, and Hope gets off strike. Stabs that into the offside for one. Now bring an end to the over. West Indies are 34 for 2 after 4.
I think it's definitely a back foot shot, but it's just the angle of the bat. He just should have played it with a straight bat. As I said, it's that sort of Kane Williamson, Joe Root, when they play it down to third, it's with the back face facing the floor instead of sort of that angle of it facing the slips. The angle of the bat is facing the ground, and if you slightly get it wrong, it can do that and ricochet. So you know, he was right to play off the back foot. It was tight to him. He just got the angle of the bat wrong for me.
So England, they only have 1-3-3 to defend, or West Indies need 1-3-3 to win rather. But it's a good start for England. 3 wickets in the power play, and they will feel that with certainly 4 overs from Adil Rashid, before we even talk about Rehan Ahmed, that they have a chance. Topley to Hope. Hope goes for the kind of his classic ODI shot there, where he tries to punch off the back foot, but there's no run there.
I think if you're England, choose. Do you want Charles on strike or do you want Hope on strike? Part of me thinks I want Charles on strike because they need 100 to win, which is not a great deal of runs with what's got left. But all of a sudden, if I get Charles on strike, he chips one up in the air, 34 for 3, and the scoreboard looks and the pressure of the game looks a hell of a lot different.
Topley to Hope, and there'll be no run there. Topley tucking Hope up a bit. No room to work with that. Hope trying to get to... I very much get the sense that Hope is trying to read the surface, whereas the preceding batters, Charles, King and Puran, have tried to almost get into their work too quickly, and with good reason, given the chase that they've got here in terms of the small total they've got to chase. Hope is actually appearing to assess the situation. This time, Hope again tries to go for that punch, but can't beat Moeen Ali in the cover, and there'll be no run there.
I think as well, Harmy, if you can get another wicket and you still haven't bowled Adil Rashid, and he comes on to bowl when Rothman Powell, who's not picked him, he's not played him too sweet at all. Dre Ross, Holder, you know, you would want both, you know, Rehan Ahmed and Adil Rashid bowling at those guys, because as I said, they're not picking the spin too well.
Yeah, that fourth T20, Powell had no idea what was going on. This one is tucked by Hope into the leg side. Is there a fielder back there to cut it off? There is. It's Liam Livingston, and they will come back. I think actually they ran 2, so it's a good run in there from Shea Hope, one of the fittest, if not the fittest player in the West Indies team.
And that's what I mean. It's sometimes when you chase a low total and you think this is going to be easy, but then you lose a couple of wickets and you make an absolute holics off it because you end up leaving it for somebody else to do it. Somebody else will do it. And then all of a sudden, by the time you've sort of turned around twice and you've got to the 10th over, you're 5 wickets down, expecting the bowlers to win the game for you. And I think that's where the West Indies are at the minute.
This time, Hope again cannot beat the covers. Moeen Ali, I think he's fielded at least 3 of the balls in this over. And Hope is only 3. Well, I say only, he's 3 of 7.
I remember, Mash, in the last game, I was sat here and the West Indies were up with the rate tunes, and I was like, don't spoil the game, Joss. Don't spoil the game, Joss, because the minute you brought Adil Rashid on, he was going to spoil the game. The minute Adil Rashid came on to bowl, game was spoiled because none of the West Indies have been able to pick him throughout this competition, and he was going to bowl the over which didn't go for double figures and completely transform the game.
Final ball of Reece Topley's over, and again just errs a little bit there, and Shea Hope is able to again just dab that, or tuck that rather, into the mid-wicket region for 1. That brings an end to the 5th over. John Norman is going to take over. West Indies are 37 for 2. The target, remember, is 133. At this stage, England were 39 for 2 before they had regular implosions. And the game is finally poised at this particular stage. John Norman.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Yeah, it is. We could have a nip tucker here, guys. 1 over left to the power play. I've just been trying to work out the squad for the T20 World Cup. We'll talk about that after the game, possibly, because the game itself is offering plenty. And really, the series deserved it, I think. 2-0 down to come back to 2-all. Wokes is in. And dragging his length back again. Touch of width for Hope. That's a nice looking shot for 1 all along the ground to Liam Livingstone at deep point. 95 needed from 89, 8 wickets in hand. Let's have a quick look at what the old win predictor says. It's got West Indies at 85%.
Oh yeah, you definitely still want to be in the West Indies dressing room. You've got Shy,
85%.
Yeah, I'd say 85. Well, Shy Hope's there. Yeah, definitely.
Charles is facing, swing and a miss. No run there.
It's going to be the tale of 2 ends. It's going to be complete control from one end in Shy Hope, and complete carnage from the other end. Because if Hope hangs around and can get a couple of wickets, you've got Powell, Rutherford, Russell, who were all big 6 hitters, and I would imagine they'll be sent out to play that way, play aggressively. The big wicket for England is can they remove the 50 over captain in Shy Hope, because if he can bat till the end of the game, he's there 15, 16th over, then the likelihood is he will hold his team together and get West Indies over the line in a 3-2 victory.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure this game's going to go to the 16th over if Hope's
not if Charles is still here.
No, absolutely. They mixed it up with the bowling. They're doing the same with the bat. Another extravagant cut shot this time rather than the drive, but the end result is the same. Misses the ball, no run. 38 for 2, West Indies. Midway point of the 6th over.
Yeah, mixing up his pace well, Chris Hope. Wokes just mixing up slower ball before that one, just going through a little bit quicker. That's when just not quite getting his time in. Just swinging hard, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's aware that it is the power play, and of course Wokes this time slower delivery, cut straight to the fielder Jacks at point. No run again.
He slowed himself down there.
He did, and then picked out the fielder beautifully, didn't he? Spin played a big part in England's capitulation. 5 wickets going the way of Moti and Hussain. England are holding back their spin threat. They've got Moeen Ali in the side. Adil Rashid, of course, who's taken a lot of wickets against West Indies over the years. Rayan Ahmed. So 6 overs apace inside the power play. We've got 2 balls left of it. Wokes again, cut away, and just dies to the left of Moeen Ali, who for a second there fancied the catches on, and then quickly realised he was going to have to field the ball rather than take the catch. And a run is taken, but that was a chancy moment for Johnson Charles.
Yeah, it was. I'm not sure about you, Judes, but I think if I'm going to bowl spin at Johnson Charles, I think it has to be Adil Rashid. I'm not sure I want the young spinner bowling at him in Rayan. I'm not sure I want the off spinner bowling at him, because he can stand there and just swing through in line and club it. I think I'd want Adil Rashid to bowl him.
Wokes again, and Shay Hope will have to stay where he is. Drops it into the turf, comes down the track, but Wokes fields from his own bowling. Johnson Charles ain't going nowhere, and that's the power play done in this 5th and final T20 of 5. 2-2 with this on to play. Windies favourites, surely. 94 needed from 84, but England have actually got off to a pretty decent start. They would have loved another one, but 39 for 2 with 8 overs of spin minimum still to come. England just about still in it.
Yeah, I think you'll be right, Harmy. I think you would want Adil Rashid to come on now. Try and create some damage, but it's going to be the young man, his understudy, Rayan Ahmed, 9-year-old. The bowler's leg breaks. He's done okay. I think he's done okay in this series so far. He's done well. He's done okay, you know.
I think he's done all right. I think he's done brilliant in his career, Tutor.
Going to bowl his first delivery. It's a touch short. It's very wide, but no timing in the cut shot. 1 run. West Indies scored 9 runs from the last 4 overs.
It's not what they normally do, is it? But it's a funny one. Low scores. I always talk when I used to be on with the MacMan. These low-scoring classics, and I think we might get one.
Oh, is this a gamble though? Rayan Ahmed is in, and cut away again. This time by Hope. No pressure on the batters just yet. Single taken. Quiet start to the over, but this is the matchup that Harmy was talking about. Charles against Rayan Ahmed, the right-handed opener. One of 2 changes for the West Indies tonight. Slip in place. A little pause in proceedings. Rayan Ahmed wanting to get his field right. Pressure on the bowler. England have to be nigh on perfect, you feel. Charles, 17 from 16, readies himself. Ahmed's in, and just easy as you like, takes a single to square leg. Constant backdrop of noise within the ground. Certainly the supporters enjoying what they're seeing a lot more than they did 2 nights ago when West Indies were obliterated. Favourites here. Hope facing, that slip still there. Good looking. Cut shot off the back foot from Hope. Nice wristy shot there. Another single taken. The score ticks along again. 43 for 2. No real damage done here, but West Indies can do it in singles. Ahmed again. Is that the googly? Bowling wide, very wide. A 7th stump line really. Not bowling wicket to wicket. It's not allowing either of these batters to get under the delivery. Try and target the boundaries on either side, but is that going to take wickets? This is a little bit straighter, and it allows Charles to free his arms, and he just smashes this ball up and over, and that's the danger. 6 runs from the bat, 50 up for Windies, 51 for 2 from 7.
And that's the danger when bowling to Charles. As you say, Rayan Ahmed didn't really want to get anything they can get up and under. He just gave him a little bit more length. And Johnson Charles said thank you very much, and he's hit him 79 yards straight down the ground. 6 runs. 8 runs off the last 2 balls. He had been doing well. He's only had gone for 4 for the first 4. Last 2 going for 8. And West Indies move on to 51 for 2 from 7.
He also sensed tunes in that over. There was a lot more tension. There was a bit more tension in the ground. It seemed as though tension in the ground. 2 batters were just ambling for singles, happy to rotate. England were possibly in a little bit of a holding pattern. There just seemed to be a lot of tension in that last over, out of the power play, so we can breathe and relax. That's why I would have gone with Adil Rashid first over after the power play, to put that pressure back on them, not give that 6 ball. And then you could bring Rayan Ahmed in or Moeen Ali into the equation.
It is Rashid with that slip in place, and this is played square of the wicket on the offside by Shea Hope. No pressure on him at all. You just take the singles and then allow Charles at the other end to take a couple more risks. Target 1-3-3 for Windies to win the game, and for the 2nd year in a row win a T20 series against England 3-2. Wide of the crease, and this is hauled to the leg side, fielded by Jackson mid-wicket. It does beat the fielder, stationed closer to the bat. That brings Hope back on strike. 53 for 2 Windies.
Yeah, for me this is the game, Johnny. How the West Indies play Adil Rashid. How many wickets do you allow him to get? If he doesn't get many, they win it easy.
Hope pushing the ball into the offside, fielded at backward point by Reece Topley. No run. But England need wickets.
The thing that I like with Hope here is he's given himself some depth in the crease to play this ball off the surface and playing as late as he possibly can.
Rashid again, this is tossed up there. Almost a full toss actually, but the ball just dips and it's played comfortably enough out into the wide expanse in the offside. Field spread. Another single.
And this is sensible from the West Indies side. You know, you do not want to be giving Rashid easy wickets. Just milk him.
Plenty of power to come. Charles, wide again. Cut. Topley fields inside the circle at backward point. No run. There's a lot of muscle. Rutherford, Powell, Russell. Batting did become more difficult as England's innings progressed. This is a full toss, and is it been drilled straight to Jos Buttler at extra cover?
Well, didn't expect that. A wide full toss from Adil Rashid. He's got that delivery horribly wrong. He's tried a big wrong un. It turned into a low full toss. John Charles had to reach from it. And an easy, well, I say easy catch. He's made it look easy as the skipper, Buttler. He's just like, I'm sorry. But Johnson Charles has to depart for 27 from 22 balls faced. West Indies 54 for 3.
Yeah, we've just seen a replay of it, and to be fair, the TV director's done it properly because he had his hand out, he put his finger out as apologised to say, you know, and then what I can't repeat what he said because you could read his lips, but you know, the second bit was bull, but the first bit was exactly what it was. It was definitely an average bull. But that's got the wicket, and I think the beauty about that situation is when you go off your natural game plan and you try and go different to what you're comfortable with, the likelihood is in this game you make a mistake, and I think that was evident in Johnson Charles because he's trying to pat Adil Rashid back, he's tried to late cut him, he's tried to drive him as opposed to, if that was Rian Ahmed, he tries to hit that 10 rows back, but because he's in a defensive mindset, just guide it straight to Jos Buttler.
Yeah, dead right, and they're trying to see Rashid off. As I said, they're not trying to give him any wickets, and he wasn't in his destructive mode trying to hit that one. Like you said, if it was Rian Ahmed, he's going to try and hit that for a boundary.
Off spin now, it's Moeen Ali. This is darted into off stump, and Hope takes the single to the leg side. So we've had 2 overs of leg spin thanks to Rian Ahmed and Adil Rashid. Now one of off spin. Wicket coming in that second over. A full toss. Well, it didn't spin, did it? It was a full toss, and it was sliced to Jos Buttler, who's picked up his second wicket, fielding at mid-off. Extra cover region. Rutherford then the new batter, and he's playing back and he's playing straight, and he's punching this delivery from Moeen Ali back to the bowler. No run. Slip in place. This is, well, it's a horrible delivery actually from Ali. And the new batter, deceived by the pace of it, tries to clip the ball, misses, and no run. The English commentators getting excited, says Don Dada in the TalkSport Cricket YouTube chat facility. Almost identical delivery from Ali on the pads of Rutherford, who does connect this time, and he gets off the mark and off strike. 2 runs from 4 deliveries from Moeen.
Get a lot more excited if Shai Hope departs very, very soon. He looks in good form, his balance looks great, his transfer of weight's fantastic, using the full depth of the crease going back, getting out forward, does look in a good touch.
Round the wicket now, Ali to the right-handed Hope, who again milks another single. He moves to 11 from 17. Required run rate still more than gettable, 6.8. West Indies actually well behind where England were at the same stage. 73 for 4, they're 57 for 3. But they know the target as Rutherford takes another one off his big pads and he moves to 2. So 4 runs from the over, a decent one from Moeen Ali. And the West Indies have scored 28 runs from 6 overs. Losing 2 wickets on the way, but still heavy favourites. Let's have a look at the win probability, shall we? Has it dipped at all? No.
No, like I said before, while Shy Hope's there, they've got somebody to bat around. They've still got a lot of power to come. Rashid is the man. England have got to bowl the West Indies out. If the West Indies get to the 66th ball that's left in this game, I don't see 75 being too much of a problem. England have to get to 10 wickets to win this series.
Nadir Rashid is going to have to take a few of those, you feel. Wrapped on the pads is Rutherford, trying to work a ball to the leg side. Now, it's where it's pitched for me. If it pitched in line and Butler has come over to speak to Adil wants it. Salt's not quite so sure, but Butler goes upstairs for a leg before decision against Shafane Rutherford. Big moment in this match right now.
TV umpire to director. We have a player's review for LBW. The original decision on the field is not out. I've checked the bowler's feet. It's a fair delivery. Can we move on to front on, please?
I think if this pitch is in line, it's got a good chance.
Doing too much, maybe.
Ball pass is pretty close to the inside edge. Doesn't appear to be any bat, but I like to use ultra edge to confirm.
Yeah, it might be just missing leg stump. It might have pitched on leg stump, and
it's a flat line as the ball goes past the bat. Satisfied there is no contact between bat and ball. Can we move on to ball tracking when ready?
On-field call, not out. Here we go. It's pitched in line.
It's pitching in line, impacts in line, and wickets missing. I'm going to go back to Leslie on field. Leslie, I'm going to ask you to stay with your not out decision. John, hold on.
So, decision upheld. Ball shown to be missing leg stump. Dot ball. And England lose a review as well. Rashid again. This again pitches on leg stump, but this time Rutherford does get the inside portion of the bat on the ball. Runs the first one quickly to fine leg, and it means he can saunter back for the second. 60 for 3 then, the West Indies. England was 60 for 3 at one stage.
Yeah, that was good running from Rutherford. He's looking just to knock it round the corner. He went to amble the first, then seen it was Reece Topley, knowing that the big fellow was just a little bit laboured, and he managed to get back for 2.
This is a loopy delivery from Rashid, and Rutherford is forward, meets the ball on the bounce and plays the ball nicely to Liam Livingstone, who's on the boundary at wide along on. 61 for 3.
Yeah, they just need to keep doing this, the West Indies. As you say, you don't want to be giving Rashid too many wickets and try and get the runs of the bulk of the seamers.
See off Rashid is probably the feeling within the camp. Wide-ish delivery. There's a tempter from Rashid, and Hope plays with a cross bat shot. The ball dribbles out to long off for another single.
Can't delay. 4-5 in a hurry now.
Left-handed Rutherford sets himself as fired one in that time. Rashid a little bit faster, angling in on off stump. Rutherford gets his bat down on it though, pushes it out, and there's no damage done.
Who's it going to be?
You can hear Phil Salt doing the commentary for us like Nicholas Pooran was earlier in the day. Last ball of the 10, and fielded from his own bowling by Rashid. So another tidy over. West Indies aren't going anywhere in a hurry. They don't have a bus to catch, that's for sure, but still in control of this match. The target 133 after England were bowled out inside their 20, so 71 needed from the last 60 deliveries, with Rutherford and Hope at the crease. And after a word from Steve Harmison, Michelle St Patrick Hewitt will be back to talk us through the next 5 overs.
Yeah, 7.1 per over, 10 overs in a 2020 contest is a cakewalk, really. It's a walk in the park for a majority of teams playing around the world, especially with a batter the caliber of Shai Hope in their lineup. Power of Rutherford and Russell and Holder still to come. England have got to hold the hope that Adil Rashid has got 2 overs left. Rian Ahmed's got 3 overs left. Spin seems to be the one that is slowing the run rate down and creating the pressure. And that, for me, is how England win this cricket match.
Yeah, I think Josh Buttler has to think about how he uses Adil and Rehan. Will he trust Moeen ahead of Rehan Ahmed, or do you try and bowl all 3?
I think, listen, you need Hope out of there, and what's your best chance? You're going to have to bowl in maybe 1 more. He's obviously got other options. You know, he's got Liam Livingstone, you've got Will Jackson. I know he hasn't bowled a lot in this series, but as Harmy says, you know, spin has definitely slowed the run rate. West Indies like pace. They always have. They like pace, so don't give them what they like. Make them have to hit the big shots, which they do like doing. But just don't make it easy for them. So, you know, this is where, like we were talking about, his tactical nous and stuff like that with Buttler. You know, does he think, right, okay, listen, maybe as Harvey says, spin is to win it on this particular pitch and at this particular situation.
As you said, Tudes, I think the key wicket has to be Hope, because Hope, you know, has the temperament to take this as deep as it needs to go and let everybody else bat around him. I think if England can get him out, I think to get Shea out is more likely that he has to play a full shot. I don't think they'll just prize, or Adil would have to bowl some kind of brilliant delivery, but he looks like he's ready to play the long ball here.
You've got to put pressure on the batter. You've got to put pressure on Shai Hope, and at this minute in time England have had 4 overs of spin. They can finish the game in spin for me if they need to. You've got Sam Curran who could bowl left arm, bowl cutters with the odd quicker one. And you've got Liam Livingstone, but I think if they are going to win this game and win this series, it's going to come down to the 2 most experienced spinners.
So it's Moeen Ali who restarts the game after the drinks break, and Hope tucks that into the leg side for 1 in the mid-wicket region. And I think West Indies will continue, well, certainly Shea Hope will continue to believe that he can just rotate. You've got Shafane Rutherford followed by Rodman Powell, who are both big hitters. Shafane has not played a shot in anger yet, though. Potentially showing a bit more responsibility than people probably give him credit for, but it's only 9 balls he's faced. Moeen into Shafane. Shafane goes back. He will not beat the fielder at point.
Yeah, Shafane Rutherford, he batted well in the last game. Then he got a little bit funky with the reverse. And he just missed a straight one, and he got LBW. But he was batting sweet up until that point.
Good enough for them to send Shimron Hetmeyer home. Shafane backs away to the leg and works it. Leg side, probably wanted to go a bit, don't know if he wanted to go a bit squarer than that, but you'll get 1 for that shot. Yeah,
it's 1 and it's pressure. 21 balls now since the last boundary, and England will be reminding, that's the thing that Phil Salt, England reminding that the boundary count is not there from the West Indies.
Shea held back on strike. Moeen to Shea, and again, it's like we've seen this kind of over/delivery for quite some time now, and again Shea tucks that just backwards of square for 1. So we've gone 1-1.11. I think England will be fine with that for now. At what stage do England need to take a wicket in the context of 2020 cricket? Because if West Indies get into back end with 7 in hand, Moeen, and again Shafane backs away to the leg stump. This one he might be able, no. Liam Livingstone, Chris Woke, sorry, is on the mid-wicket boundary, runs round the mid-wicket boundary and cuts it off for cover boundary and cuts it off for 2. And Shafane Rutherford's backing away to leg stump, but I don't know what shot he's trying to go for here. Is he trying to go over the?
Yeah, he's trying to go over.
Covers?
I think he's using the spin. I think he's trying to get Moeen Ali on the bounce and hitting it on the top of the bounce.
Again, back to his leg. This time he does go over the covers. Will he? He will plug in the outfield, and again, Chris Wokes. He got the pickup, but lost it in the tumble through, and the ball rolls back onto the boundary ropes, and that will be a welcome for the West Indies. He tried it, so Shafane Rutherford had tried it, was like 2 times in a row to back away and go for the shot that Choose and Hamid had spoken about, trying to clear the covers. Should Wokes have probably prevented that, or?
Yeah, it's unlucky. It's a great effort, but as he stopped it, the ball just rolled on to the Toblerone, and it's gone for 4. I've seen this with Shafane, especially the last game, and when you watch him back, he does like to go expansive over that sort of extra cover region, try and get it up and over. There's normally not fielders out there, so it's a good shot if you execute it right.
That takes the West Indies total to 71 for 3 after 11 overs. 62 needed from 54. Adil Rashid will bowl his 3rd in a row, and Hope plays that one between point and cover for 1 to bring Shafane Rutherford back onto strike. Adil will be happier, I think, bowling to Shafane Rutherford, in the sense that Shafane Rutherford is more likely to play an incorrect shot to Adil Rashid. England do need a wicket probably at this stage. 62 from 54 is relatively straightforward, wickets in hand. Well, I said that Shafane Rutherford would be likely to try and play a shot there. Well, everyone went up. They're not going to review. I'm not sure what they went up for, if it was just trying to trick the umpire.
They've gone up for the nick, but Phil Salt wasn't as convinced as Moeen Ali. There was a noise, but I wonder if he's hit the ground as he's gone through. No, he's missed everything.
Maybe they've just gone up for the fact it was just a big shot. And they this next one, Shafane Rutherford works off his legs. Hope wants 2. They will come back for 2. Fielded deep mid-wicket.
Just quietly watching these 2 run, Shai Hope he's already gestured a few times about Rutherford, what ball watching. Yeah. So we watch out. There's a run out coming here, I reckon. There's a run out between the 2 here coming, and this is what England have got to be watchful for.
Rutherford loses his form, but has he got enough power on it? He has. I think he was trying to go. Well, I think he was trying to go leg side. He's gone straight down the ground. We saw this a lot in some of the previous games as well, where because of the power Shafane Rutherford possesses, he certainly wasn't trying to go straight. No way was he trying to go straight. 6 all the same. Yeah,
he was trying to sort of go sort of wide of long off, sort of maybe deep mid-wicket, but the ball was quite full on him, so he's ended up in it dead gun barrel straight. But what he does get his hips right into it. Shane Rutherford, he has a fantastic flourish with the bat at the end. 6 runs nevertheless.
One way to prevent the run out. Hit it at the ground.
Adil Rashid back to Shafane Rutherford, beats him on the outside edge. This time Adil has gone around the wicket to Shafane Rutherford and tested that outside edge.
Yeah, great delivery, a wrong un from round the wicket.
Final ball of the over. Again, going for that off-stump line. Fielded by Rehan Ahmed, and there will be no run there. Quite an expensive over in the context of Adil Rashid. 9 off it. West Indies are 80 for 3 from 12. 53 needed from 48. I've yet to say that West Indies should win from here, but I'm now officially saying West Indies should win from here.
Yeah, I think you're right. Their mash is. He's got 6 balls left. England's most dangerous bowler, Adil Rashid. He's been top quality for the last, 5 or so years, Army, isn't he? He's been quality. He's got 6 balls left, and then even at the end of that over, he looked a little bit frustrated, like he knows that he needed another wicket or 2 to give his team a chance. Yeah,
that 1 wicket in that over would have made a massive difference, and then Jos Buttler can take him out of the attack and think, right, if we get another wicket, 5 down, I can then bring him on for them 6 balls. You just sense in this situation you might have to bowl him out. You might have to bowl his 4th over, because the wicket in the break in this partnership is, I think, far more important to holding 6 balls back, hoping somebody gets a wicket, and then you can bring him on to try and get the new batter and put him under pressure.
Rehan Ahmed is in for his 2nd over. I kind of think that this is going to be key here, Rahan. I suspect they've taken one, Shea Hope just playing that through the covers for one. I think Shafane Rutherford's ego may well get in the way here, and he'll try and take Rahan on. Rahan went for 12 in his first over.
He went for 12 in his first over, but he bowled 5 decent bowls, then threw one above the eye line, and Josh and Charles hit him for 6. So he hasn't got to be too worried about going for that 12. He's still got to keep that process.
And there we go. It's the first big shot from Shafane Rutherford, or attempted big shot against Rehan Ahmed. Goes for the pull. Will only pick up 1. Goes to deep mid-wicket. Will only get 1 for it, but already he's shown his intention to probably attack Rehan.
Really does have a flourish, doesn't he, with his shots when he looks to be expansive.
I'd love to see if he plays golf and see what he's like with the driver. Is that Bubba Watson style?
This one's a bit straighter from Rehan, and Shea Hope cannot pick up a run there, fielded by Reece Topley. Mid-wicket, short mid-wicket, and there is no run. 51 needed from 45 balls. 2 off this Rehan Ahmed over so far. And again, it's another dot ball, fielded by Jos Buttler in the covers.
It's good from the West Indies. They're not panicking, they're not trying to pick the big shot, being respectful of the ball.
This one, Shea goes back, and that's Adil Rashid fielding at point, and again another dot. Good over from Rehan Ahmed, only 2 off it. 1 more. Can he come out of the over intact? West Indies 82 for 3, final ball of the 13th over, and Shea Hope brings out the cut shot, and that will be fielded for 1 at the deep point boundary, and that brings an end to the 13th over. West Indies 3, 50 needed from 42. Is it time for Sam Curran? Would you go there?
For me, I'll stick with the spin. I think West Indies are waiting for some seam to come on, and it's going to be interesting to see what Buttler does now. Really, who's he going to bring on now? Because I think, as you rightly said, Mash, does he bowl Adil Rashid out, or does he hold him for maybe, if England do get a wicket, you bring him on to deal with maybe Powell, who, as I said, who hasn't picked him at all really well in this series, and then, you know, if you can get Dre Russ out early, then all of a sudden it makes it interesting. But
from a West Indies point of view, surely the conversation in the middle has got to be, if we bat 1 more over, England can't bowl us out. If we bat 14 overs, 3 wickets down, we don't deserve to win if we lose 7 wickets in 6 overs. So if we get through this next over, the likelihood is England aren't going to bowl us out, and if not, that means we go big at the end.
It is Sam Curran who takes the 14th over. Shea Hope meets that first delivery with a drive through the covers for 1. I'll explain why I said so. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so even if they just get 4 runs off this over, you get 4 runs off this over, the equation goes down to 45 off 36. 36 balls. If you need 20 off the last 2, with the likes of Powell, Rutherford, Russell in the tank, you're winning. So you make sure you don't give England a sniff by losing a wicket in this over, and then you're basically saying England are going to have to take 7 wickets in 6 overs to win this match. We don't deserve to get over the line if that's the case, especially with the power we've got. So you take the 1 over to basically you would in theory take England out of the game.
Some current in Shafane Rutherford, he just works that into the leg side. The call is 2 from Shea Hope. Will Shafane Rutherford respond to it? He does. Good run in there, to be fair. I said earlier on when I was on the last stint that Hope is a very fit cricketer, takes his craft very seriously, giving Shafane Rutherford some work, saying get a move on.
He's done that from the start, hasn't he, Mash? He's really, a couple of times when they've crossed, he said, like, run hard, stop jogging, run it hard. You just never know, and that's what I would always tell the kids if they're watching, they're listening, run your runs hard. Fielders do make mistakes.
Rutherford has quietly moved on to 23 from 20. Curran into Rutherford. Rutherford pulls out the hook, and that will be a 6. Curran allowed Rutherford to free his arms somewhat. It's gone backwards of square, kind of where a deep, fine leg may have been. And yeah, it's in Rutherford's arc. That's the kind of ball he wants, and that's what he's used to in this format of cricket.
It's a poor ball for me. It really is a poor ball. You watch Rutherford, left hand, you've got fine leg inside the circle, and you watch the way Rutherford plays. He shovels everything. You know, he's bottom hand dominant. You basically give him, that's a free hit. That is a free hit.
So it's gone for a maximum. This one's straighter down the leg side. Well, say straighter, it's gone down the leg side, but doesn't give Rutherford room, although Rutherford may say, well, I missed that one. It was there to be played into the leg side. Either way, it's a dot. Somewhat of a comeback there from Sam Curran. 9 has come off the over thus far.
And for me, this is what West Indies wanted. They wanted pace back onto the ball, obviously, for England and for Butler. You know, he needs to see bowlers in different situations. He's bringing Curran on now because he's going to play a massive part in the World Cup in June, July.
5th ball of the over. This one he bowls on an off-stump line. Rahama Ahmed fumbles the ball in the gully region, and they'll run through for 1 off the misfield. The equation becoming very hard for England here. 40 from 37.
And you were saying there, Jude, it's a great point. They want pace on the ball. So Sam Curran comes on to bowl. A conversation with Curran has to be, take pace off it. Just run up and bowl cutters. Just run up and bowl cutters. And if you're going to bowl the quick one, it's got to hit the base of the stumps. That's it. You go anything in the length or anything short, pace-wise, they're going to hit you out the ground.
Final ball of Curran's over. This one again drifts onto the legs. Hope works it into the leg side. They're going to run 2, surely. Rehan Ahmed, no, they don't. I thought they'd run 2 on that one, but Rehan Ahmed is able to send that back in, and they'll only take 1. And the West Indies are 94 for 3 from 14 overs. Yeah, just coming back to that point about Sam Curran, the reason why I thought they'd go to Curran is because of his ability to bowl different variations of deliveries, but he didn't really do what I thought he was going to do.
But he's got one of them balls in him. He's got the one in the slot, or he's got the short ball down leg side. He's got one of them balls in him. And I think that people talk about Sam Curran, his age. Sam Curran's an experienced cricketer at this level. Sam Curran is the only Englishman ever to captain an IPL franchise. Sam Curran knows this 2020 game inside out. And unfortunately, you knew one of them 6 balls was going to be in the slot full on pace, or a short ball which wasn't going to get high enough. That's why I'd have stuck with what it is, the spin.
So it's Adil Rashid to bowl out. England need a wicket in this over, I would say. And the first ball is played into the cover region by Shai Hope. He'll run through for 1. I think Hope has just got the measure of the situation here. He was always the key wicket for me because he'd calm down the chase. He'd take the drama out of the situation. And now West Indies need 38 from 35, and Josh Butler needs Adil Rashid to bowl probably not even 1 magic ball, 2 in this over. And he does have Shafane Rutherford on strike, though. Rutherford has only had probably 1 big shot that was well. He goes, and there he is. He goes for the big drive, the booming drive into the extra cover region. Is Sam Curran who's there. I was just about to say Rutherford has held his big shot energy in, but he finds Sam Curran, and there's the wicket.
Yeah, very full delivery from Adil Rashid. A good catch from Sam Curran's in, sort of close in and extra cover. And that's what West Indies didn't want, to give Adil Rashid a wicket in his last over. But he couldn't resist. The ball was full, his eyes lit up. And Shafane Rutherford has to depart for 30 from 24. West Indies 9-5 for 4. Live here on TalkSport 2.
Steve Harmison said that England can't take 7 wickets if we get into the final 6. But, Harmy, how does this wicket change the game, or is it too little too late?
No, it's not too little too late. I think you look at Adil Rashid probably has to take another one in this over, and then England will have to bowl 2 or 3 overs where they don't get hardly any runs off it to elevate the scoring rate, put the West Indies batters under pressure. And while Shai Hope's there, they win it comfortably with 18 balls to spare. If Shea Hope's still there. If you can get Shea Hope out, then England might have a sniff. But still, 6 wickets, 34 balls, 38 off 34 balls, 6 wickets. I tell you what, you don't deserve to win if you lose it from here. If you don't win by 18 balls to go, because all you have to do really in this situation is get within 20. Once you get within 20, 4 wickets down, the rest come very easy.
It's Rashid to Rovman Powell. Jude said it earlier on. Rovman doesn't pick leg spin well, much less Adil Rashid, who's one of the champion bowlers of the leg spin variety, but he only has 3 possible balls left in his spell, but also at Rovman Powell, and Powell is able to get off strike, tucks that to the leg side, and will probably be thinking, yes, I'm not on strike, and Shea Hope will have 2 to see out the over.
Yeah, best possible situation for the West Indies. Let Shea Hope face as much bowling from Adil Rashid. There's only 2 balls left, 2 for 18.
5th ball of the over, and again Shea works that into the mid-wicket region, runs hard, runs 2, and it's a good 2. We've seen this a lot from Shea Hope. Just because Shafane Rutherford has gone doesn't mean that the same intensity in running has gone. Shea Hope demanding Rovman Powell get moving. And West Indies 35 from 31. So final ball of Adil Rashid's spell. It's gone for 2 for 20. Shea Hope goes back and again plays one through the covers, 4-1. That brings an end to the 15th over. West Indies are 99 for 4. You're listening to this match live and exclusive on TalkSport 2, and watching some of you on the YouTube stream as well. Shea Hope is 23 off 31 balls. Rovman Powell has just come to the crease. He is on 1. And John Norman will take this game through to the end alongside Alex Tudor and Steve Harmison.
Yeah, thank you very much, Michelle. Well, we're still going. 34 needed from 30. Tude's train leaves in 41 minutes. Harmy's never getting home.
Don't put the mockers on it, please. Not after what I've had for the last 5 train journeys.
Well, if you will live,
miles away
in New Zealand, it's easier to get from New Zealand than Ashington. Right then, England's still just about in this, as Rayan Ahmed has Shea Hope reaching forward, and there's a thick outside edge which flies along the ground to the left of Reece Topley, who's up inside the circle at short third, and Topley can't chase it down. Well, he opened the face a little bit. She wasn't really an outside edge, was it, Choose? But I'm not sure it quite intended to hit a boundary there. Yeah,
it got him stretching. He had to stretch for it, but as you said, he just angled the bat smartly.
Tossed up and crunched through the covers. There's the chase on, and Sam Curran will get to the ball and actually fields this particularly well. It's just a single. 29 needed from 28.
Yeah, he's looked good. Shea Hope really has bowled, batted with authority. He's not stressed. 28 from 33, exactly what the situation needed for the West Indies. 29 from 28 balls.
Yeah, I think the West Indies would be mindful. They've played this perfectly so far, but they don't want to let themselves get into a position where a couple of quick wickets, a couple of cheap overs gets them into trouble, and that's exactly what Powell's thinking. Clubs this over long on for 6.
He had the length. That's what these West Indian boys like. When you get long in length as a bowler, they'll get up and underneath, and he's hit it gun barrel straight for 6. Powerfully hit from the skipper Powell. And the young man under pressure, powerfully hit down the ground, 90 metres. Thank you very much. Balls back, please.
Bit too straight, a bit too full. And you can hear the horns blaring out. 23 from 27. England need a lot of wickets, and they need them quick. Again, this is tossed up. Fraction wider though. pushed to point for a single by Powell.
I think, as our good friend would say, start the car.
Yep. I mean, taxis are expensive in this part of the world, so hopefully you brought your own. Rashid bowled out. Rain is in. Forward comes Hope again, stretching. Fielded in the covers by Butler.
Yes, boys, keep scrapping now, boys.
England really clinging on. The win probability gives this the West Indies way 98 times out of 100.
Keep scrapping, lads. 2 in a hurry.
Well, Phil Salt still believes. Powell is ready. Oh, he's nearly beaten. Kept a little low as well, but clear of the stumps. Played defensively, and that's a good over for the West Indies. 21 now needed from 24 balls. The captain and arguably their best bat at the crease. It's got to be West Indies for the game, and if it is, that's the series done.
Yeah, that's the series done, and I think I would say over the course of the series, if the West Indies do get over the line, I think they've just shaded it and just deserve it. You know, it's easy to say, and that's 3-2, but I think they've played some of the smarter cricket. I think they've played some of the better cricket. And in Shai Hope, they've got a player, for me, one of the very best white ball players in world cricket at this moment in time, in very, very good form. Not sort of blistering form where you think he's going to get 100 every week. He's just so consistent. He really is. He's batted beautifully in this white ball series. Captained them very, very well in the first 3 games of the 50-over competition. Gone back into the ranks, and he's held this innings together. And at not one point did I think the West Indies weren't going to win while Shai Hope. But when he was at the crease, the minute he walked out of the crease, authority. I think his balance at the crease has been unbelievable. I think his decision making and shot selections, he's running between the wickets, his energy. I think while he's been there, I don't think England, I'm not saying they were ever in the game, but I think from the West Indies fans' point of view, I think they've always been confident. Topley left arm over the wicket, and this is played back to the bowler by Shai Hope. England went over the old clocks, the old stop clock there. Yeah, I was just going to say that for me, that ball there, he's faced 35 balls, and that's the first time he's either lost his shape, lost his balance, or he hasn't looked in total control of his movements when it comes to hands coming through the line of the ball. I think I'm right in saying that Reece Topley has now bowled 2 overs of dot balls as well with that delivery. A single off the hip of Hope. Fielders converge, but West Indies aren't pushing 1s into 2s unless they really have to, and they don't really have to. 20 needed from 22.
I think you're right, Harmy. I think the one thing with Shai Hope is that you're not really worried about him going to cause destruction like, say, a Dre Russ or someone like that, where he's going to just hit you for 6s and stuff like that. But there's other ways of scoring runs. He accumulates runs very well. I mean, he did show in that one-day series. You know, I think to finish one game off Sam Curry, he's gone 6-6-6. Thanks very much. We win the game. So he does have it in him, but he's more an accumulator of runs.
Topley again, outside edge, and it's been caught by Adil Rashid. Topley has struck. He's a wicket taker, and Butler has brought his main man back into the attack, and Rovman Powell could not have picked out Adil Rashid at short third any better if he tried.
Slip catch in practice. Adil Rashid at about sort of fit slip, but on the 30-yard circle, and he's managed to get it off the middle of the bat. Rothman Powell leaning back, and Rothman Powell has gone back into his shell. He's hit 1-6. He's faced 6 balls, got 8 runs, and he's probably looking at the scoreboard thinking, I need, I want a ball, and I get home as captain, raise me bat, win the series. And he's gone against his natural game, and unfortunately when you do that, you do make a mistake when it comes to decision making. And I think to go on to the point what Tudor's making, as we see Andre Russell walk out, when you've got somebody like Shai Hope, who you were not worried about him getting a blistering 80 off 25 balls, the one thing he can do is he can get 70 or 50 balls and he's got plenty of players in his team. Russell, Powell, Rutherford, Poran, King, Johnson, Charles. They can get 80 off 40 balls, and that's what makes this West Indian side, when it comes to June, in their own back garden, a very, very dangerous proposition in the World T20.
Disaster, says MV. On the TalkSport Cricket YouTube chat box. Wow, he's gone early there, hasn't he?
So, yeah, you've gone really young. You've got Andre Russell. You've got Jason Holder, who TalkSport 2 have already seen get a double 100 in a Test match. And you've got Shai Hope, who's seen it like a football. Oh, I wouldn't go to bed just yet, Envy.
Russell, he took 2 in 2 earlier today, including a smart return catch. He does not get off the mark first ball. Butler fields in the covers. Again, attempting cut shot. We've seen a lot of those today. Runnable from here. You go back 30 years, you'd favour the bowling team, wouldn't you? Strike rate of 100, 6 and over.
Fielding team all day long, Johnny, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
I don't even think Mummy Tudor's sweating yet, Harmy. 20 off 20
yet, no.
With these 2 in. Holder to come.
2 balls left then of Reece Topley's 4 overs. 16 runs from it, 2 wickets. England would love another. Short delivery, no timing on the pull is Andre Russell. This ball travels up to long on for a single. It's not been a great pitch, has it? I mean, if England had managed maybe 20 more, maybe, then could have been a keen contest.
Yeah, it's not been a great surface, but I didn't think the surface the other night was a great surface, and England got 267. I think both teams just bowled. Well, I was going to say something else there, but no, England just didn't bowl very well, and neither did the West Indies. I think what Rothman Powell said at the start, I think resonated with both bowling units. Was we've had a think, and we've come up with a different plan, and they've executed it a hell of a lot better.
Here is Hope, a big swing of the bat there, and he's beaten past the outside edge, so that's a great over from Reece Topley. May well be in a losing cause, but 2 runs, a wicket, and he's gone for just 17 from his 4 overs. And how England have appreciated him being back and back off the injury table, back in the team.
Yeah, he never lets anyone down when he puts that England shirt on. But that's why the frustration, he just gets the injuries at the wrong time. But good to see him back. So Butler and Mott, the coach, are happy to have him back in the team, because when he does, he gets wickets and he seldom goes for a lot of runs. So at one end you've got 4 overs of someone of certainty, or someone that's going to give you a bit of control and give you some wickets.
I'll be asking you guys to name your squads for the T20 World Cup once we finish play, when we record following on. Rayan Ahmed is in. This is a leg break from Ahmed, pitching on off stump and defended into the covers by Andre Russell. I don't think we're going to see too many defensive shots from Andre Russell in this over. I think mid-wicket, possibly long off. Those fielders stationed there, they're going to be waiting.
He's going to be straight, and if he drops short, he's going to go over deep mid-wicket into the, I'm going to say the sea. He's going to go far.
Ahmed flatter. He does target mid-wicket. He thrashes this delivery, but a big bottom edge, and he comes through for a single. 115 for 5.
That was the one, wasn't it? That was the one. I think his eyes lit up far too much there. He tried to hit it too hard and swing himself off the feet. He was like Superman in the phone box there as he scrolled around 2 or 3 times. Didn't come out with a cape on, but man with a cape, Shai Hope. Whoa, wow, if we could get him now.
Tossed up, played beautifully actually through the covers. Certainly one there, and that's all it'll be. Wicket here, chaps. Wicket and a couple of dot balls. You never know.
I tell you, these low scores, I tell you, sometimes they're more exciting than those 260 plays 250.
Russell winds up, Picks up the cut, but Curran's out there on the boundary, straight to the fielder.
I was just about to say, John, you're saying a wicket here will make it different. They needed 17 or 15 balls, but I was also thinking 3 balls left in this over. Andre Russell on strike, we might finish the game. He could finish the game in this over.
Well, you better get your T20 squads ready then. Hope it is. Again, the cut is by Sexterfield. This will be a boundary. Topley and Rashid inside the circle, and Hope, well, maybe there was no hope to begin with, and certainly isn't now. 4 runs from the bat, and the Windies are close.
Yeah, he's executed that brilliantly, as Harmony says. He stays deep in his crease when facing the spin. And he's gone back and he's back cut it, just open the blade. He's flown down the fine leg up to third, vacant third.
Alan Drayton says greetings from Barbados. Are you familiar with the Drayton family tunes?
So I am, but
Insan
sure
Mohammed says this is getting to be a nerve-wracker. Last ball of rounds over. This is on the pads of Hope. Takes the single. 11 needed from 12 balls, and surely the West Indies fans listening to the action on TalkSport 2 or via the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel are starting to relax.
Yeah, I think so. I think the West Indies fans will be relaxing, and fair play to England. It's been a great effort. You know, England are, I think, are going to lose this game, but it's been a valiant effort in the field. It really has. Rian Ahmed, his figures don't look. He's got 0 for 36 off 4. But he has bowled well. He's gone for 2 sixes in that 36. Both times, because of the situation of the game, he's had to throw the ball above the eye line, risk a little bit where he's going to go to the boundary with a view that he's trying to buy the wicket and trying to make the false shot. So, fair play for having it to do that. But England have tried to defend this 133 total as well as they possibly can do. But I think what you said 5 minutes earlier there, John, another 20 runs in this game. I wouldn't say it would have been a hell of a lot more interesting because of it getting tighter, because I think the run chase would have been a little bit different from a Shai Hope point of view. We'd have gone a little bit earlier, but possibly 30 or 40 more runs, which was probably par for this surface, 170, 175. Then I think England would have been, in the way they've gone, I think there would have been a lot harder chase for the West Indies.
Well, the West Indies fans on the chat facility on YouTube are certainly starting to enjoy themselves. We are smelling victory, says Glenmore Thompson. Match over, West Indies 1, says Palmer Shirag. Yeah, they think it's game over. Sam Curran, though, will think otherwise. Full delivery on the pads of Shai Hope, and he can only pick out short cover. No run. 11 needed from 11 balls. Hope 36 from 41. Andre Russell will feel he can win this in 2 hits, but it's not Russell facing, it's Hope. And Sam Curran is in now. He's past the umpire, a full toss on off stump, and Hope looks surprised by that. He's coming forward and then suddenly realises it ain't bouncing, and he pushes it out past Moeen Ali at cover point for a single. That brings Russell back on strike.
But the thing about Sam Curran, for all that, we do see little faults in him when he's bowling earlier in the innings, or you cannot disagree that he's a great competitor. Sam Curran will think he can win this game. He will. Sam Curran will believe he can win this game. Somebody, when the situation is in front of him and it's a competitive situation, that's where I think this is where Sam Curran's at his best. I'd pick him, he's going to talk about it in a bit, but I'd pick him as a number 7 and not bowl him until 2 overs. Bowl him 2 overs at the death. If you're going to bowl him 2 overs in a game, because he's been getting belted, these would be the 2 overs I'd bowl him, 18 and 20.
Goffey would have believed that England could win from here as well. Curran is in short and ducked by Andre Russell, who looks to the square leg umpire. Nothing given. 10 needed from 9.
Yeah, it's good bowling. I agree with Harmy. One thing with the Curran brothers and with Sam is their competitive edge. He's got it in abundance, Sam. I know it hasn't gone entirely right for him in this series with the ball, but he would never shy away from the hard work. As you said, he will believe that he can make a difference. A hell of a bowling display for them to win it from here.
123 for 5 West Indies. Andre Russell 3 not out, 10 needed from 9. Sam Curran's final over in the match, in the series, has gone for just 1 run from 3 deliveries. He's in again. Russell takes on the short delivery, bottom edge into the turf, and that is a fine diving stop to his right by Curran, and it's another dot ball, Steve Harmison.
It is, and it's typical Sam Curran. When he bowls in the middle or he bowls at the start, floats it up there, gives the batsman too much width, gives him over pitches sometimes, but at the death he seems to have this plan. You're going to come at me and you are going to get into the contest. Let's see who's got the sort of, who sticks their chest out the biggest and holds their nerve the most. And this is, for me, is where Sam Curran is at his best. When there's a contest on, somebody's coming at him properly, 6s and 4s, and going to win the game, see what the game's in, the equations at the end. I think this is where Sam Curran is best. He's going for a towel, that's what he wants. The ball's soaking wet, he's soaking wet, and I think the towel that Josh Butler's got, I think, is being used that much that I think that's soaking wet as well.
It looked like he was signalling for VAR.
DRS, yeah. VAR, yeah. VAR's, yeah.
Either way, just a few touch of nerves possibly in the West Indies crowd. Still overwhelming favourites, of course. 10 runs needed from 8 deliveries as Sam Curran, he's dried the ball, he's in, it's a full toss, and Russell, he goes big. I don't think he's got enough on it, and he's been taken by Liam Livingstone at wide long on, and Sam Curran has struck, and the West Indies have lost a wicket. Are they buckling? Are they buckling with the end in sight?
Oh, what a ball this is from Sam Curran. He's bowled it. It's knee-high full toss. It's going against Andre Russell. Andre Russell, it's wide of off. Would it be wide of off stump? Russell's gone and tried to go for the leg side, and he's given himself some room to try and open up the leg side, and he's just clothed it. Absolutely clothed it. Probably trying to hit it a bit too hard. The bat is spun in his hand. And again, don't write Sam Curran off at the end. He might have a struggle at the start, and he might have a struggle in the middle overs, but death overs he showed and he proved. In the world T20 in Australia, player of the tournament, largely down to the fact of his death bowling. This is how you utilise the best of Sam Curran. Get him in a contest, and for me, the little fella from Surrey sticks his chest out Darren Gough style, and he comes good.
Well. I tell you what, it's going to the final over, unless that Curran oversteps and it's bludgeoned away for a couple of boundaries. It's going to the final over, and you can't ask for much more than that. 10 runs are needed from 7. Holder had a first baller in the last match. This is seen as a free hit. Last ball of the 19th. Curran is in. It's a full toss again. And Rashid, there's a chance of a run out. And I think that Sam Curran has stuck his hand in the way of the ball and prevented it from hitting the stumps of the non-strikers. Holder might have been in. We'll have to have a little look at a review. But it is all going on out there. 1 run taken and 9 runs needed from the final over for the West Indies to win this match.
Oh, direct hit, he was gone. And I tell you, for England, the right man is now on strike. Shea Hope is going to be on the non-strikers end to face this last over. That was quality from Sam Curran, only going for 2 and getting a dangerous man in Dre Russ and Chris Wokes. It's an important 6 balls, 9 to win.
Well, you could say that, Tunes, an important 6 balls. It certainly is. Who'd have thought at the end of this 5-match series we'd find ourselves here with the West Indies needing 9 runs from 6 deliveries. We can have a super over. Hold the train. And Chris Wokes is going to bowl it. Holder has edged to the offside. He's gone long, but he's got an inside edge. There's a chase by Rayan Ahmed at square leg. He's hauled the ball down, but not before Hope gets back to enable Holder to complete 3 runs.
Yeah, free hit, like we said, the last ball of the 19th over. It was a free hit for Jason Holder. Can he get it into the field where Shai Hope gets back on strike, and where you didn't want him to hit it, it's gone down a fine leg, and Rayan Ahmed's did brilliant. He saved the run, but unfortunately they've getting 3 and informed Shai Hope 37 off 42 balls. He's got 5 balls to get 6 runs to get his team over the line and to win both series in the white ball format for the West Indies.
Pressure wherever you look. Will it be a fielding mishap? Will it be a great bit of bowling? Will it be a big shot? It's Shai Hope facing up. Wokes is in, he's given it width. He's absolutely blazed it. High and handsome over extra cover. Shai Hope wins it with us, breaks English hearts. The Windies see it home. They were wobbling, but they didn't fall. The Windies, who have won this 5-match series 3-2. They've beaten England on the night by 4 wickets. Drama right to the end. A beautiful shot to finish. And it's the West Indies who will be partying tonight.
Well, that's an incredible way to finish the game. He had a little bit of whip. It was long from Chris Wokes, wide outside the off-stump, and he's opened up the blade, got his left leg out of the way and executed beautifully far and over the cover point boundary for a massive 6. And to be fair, John, to win the series, the guy who's been absolutely outstanding in the white ball format for the last 2 years or so, Shai Hope, has been absolutely brilliant. The way how to chase down a low total, never panicked. 43 from 43. It was a great effort from the England side. Never had enough runs. 150, 160. You would have felt would have been a real good game. But the West Indies just getting over, winning it 3-2 in the series. They were 2-0 up, and then England came back with 2 massive wins. It was all on this game. And the West Indies in the field were fantastic with the ball and in the field. And then the batting, it was that man, Shai Hope, seeing his team home for a fantastic series win against a very strong England side.
Yeah, and you can see what it meant on the West Indies bench. Rodman Powell celebrating, engulfed by his teammates. He's led his side really, really well in this series. And the crowd enjoying the action. And maybe there is just a little bit of hope for the T20 World Cup as well. Darren Sammy, he's down on the pitch. It's all smiles to the Windies. And you know what? England will take a lot from this. It didn't look like they would at the halfway stage. It didn't look like they would at the mid-innings break of that third T20 facing 2-2-3. But they won 2 games and they pushed the West Indies close. And they are closer to knowing what their side is going to be. And they will feel a lot more confident than they have at times during this series, but they have fallen short this evening here on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, they have, and I think there's a lot of positives out of this white ball. You know, a trip to the Caribbean, Rayan Ahmed, the brilliance of Adil Rashid. You know, Phil Salt has been magnificent. Butler back in the runs in the last couple of games, but when you look at it, England should win the T20 series. They didn't, and fair play to the West Indies, because over the course of the 5 matches, I think the West Indies have played just about the better cricket, just about the smarter cricket. And England, I thought, was a brilliant, a valiant effort in that 19.2 overs to push the West Indies, who I thought would win that in 15 overs. And Shai Hope, he's the difference. He was the difference. We said before he walked out, when Nicholas Pooran walked out, if Pooran of Hope can have a message from a dressing room, get 40 or 40 balls, to go on and win the game for their side. Shai Hope was 18 off 29 balls, finished with 43 off 43 balls. And for me, Shai Hope's the difference in this series because he's been absolutely magnificent, and that's why they've won this test, this T20, and win the series 3-2.
Brilliant stuff, Harmy. We'll be getting more reflection and reaction from Harmy Tudes and also Michelle and Patrick Hewitt very shortly. England bowled out in 19.3 overs, posting 132. West Indies chasing it down in 19.2 overs with Shai Hope blazing a 6 from Chris Woakes' final over. It's wrapped up a West Indies win. They've won by 4 wickets, and in doing so they've beaten England 3-2. Michelle, you said West Indies would win the series, and West Indies did win the series.
Indeed, I did, and not one to... No, I won't blow. But no, do you know what? What I will say is, after the 4th T20 on Tuesday, we had a discussion on following on, and I remember it well, where we said, what happens if West Indies win, right? And they win the final game. How, in sport, we're so big on narrative, and how will the narrative change now that England didn't come back and win the series? And similarly in the Caribbean, how will the narrative change now that West Indies have won the series? So I believe that some people will be very quick on the West Indian side. Some people will be very quick to say this is even more evidence of the Darren Sammy revolution. They beat India 3-2 in the summer. They beat South Africa away earlier on this year, and now they've beaten England 3-2 at home as well. And some will be quick to rush and say West Indies have to be considered one of the dark horses or favourites for the World Cup. I'm not going to go down that line, right? Similarly with England, and obviously Harmy will get into it, will there now be an eagerness for some to go down a narrative of this is further evidence that England aren't where they should be, and so on and so forth, almost not focusing on the fact that in the 3rd and the 4th game England played really well. Do you see what I mean? So I'm reluctant to kind of come with a great big statement as to what does this show, but what fundamentally it should show the West Indians, and what I will focus on, is that they have shown now 3 series in a row that they can compete against teams that are deemed to be better than them.
I mean, they've beaten England, they beat India, correct, and South Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 3 pretty good teams.
Yeah, I get that, and then you go, wow, is the West Indies on the up and up? But then you see the sign of the times, because in between the 4th game and the 5th game, the Pickett Test squad with 7 debutants going to Australia. So you just worry where the West Indies cricket's going to be at. So I don't know about you, John or Mash, that June's a hell of a long way away in West Indies cricket.
100%.
You're right, though. I mean, I don't think that either of these 2 sides come away from this series with many people saying absolutely, undeniably, ultimate truth time, they're going to win the T20 World Cup. But I think what we can walk away from this saying is that both sides possess players that can win a match. Both players, you'd say, have got 6 or 7 absolutely nailed on starters. Maybe a couple more for West Indies, actually. But of course, we also have to remember this is as close to the strongest T20 side West Indies are going to be able to put out in the park, and England have got a few to come in.
Yeah, I think when you look at it from an England point of view, in the cold light of day, when you analyse what's happened, you go, they've got off to good starts. So we've been looking for that opening batter to replace Jason Roy or Alex Hales. I mean, if you look at the games, the T20 World Cup, victory in Australia, I think we've nailed down that spot in Phil Salt. I think he's done enough to say, right, that's mine. We've been poor at the death, really poor at the death, and we've been poor leading into the death of taking wickets with Adil Rashid apart. I think Rian Ahmed is showing every time he puts on an England shirt, he's getting better and better, and he's getting more experience, which is great for a 19-year-old. And I think the death side of it, and the number 4 spot, I think, which is a key pivotal role, are players that have to come back. So the death spot, I would imagine, if Jofra Archer's bowling and playing for his school side in Barbados now, the likelihood is he's going to be fit for the World T20. So if he's going to be fit for the World T20, Mark Wood's going to be fit for the World T20, and Ben Stokes comes back into that number 4 spot, all of a sudden with Phil Salt at the top, who's probably ticked the box and got his inked into that number 1 spot, you're now looking at the areas that England have got questions over the last probably 3 weeks, which is bowling at the death, and maybe that man for all, that Shai Hope man for all situations in the middle. Then England haven't got to worry about that because they've got Ben Stokes to come back, and they've got Johnny Bairstow, and they've also got Mark Wood and Jofra Archer. Fingers crossed from an Archer point of view. So I don't think all's lost in this series. I think there's been a lot of positive stuff being played from both sides, and when you look at it, I think some of our key players have been put under pressure in under pressure situations. Some of them cracked, some of them have performed, and I think put that all into the melting pot. I think England now are 99% certain, without them Pakistan 3 games coming up in the summer, T20. I think Matthew Mott, Josh Bottler can go to the Caribbean and to America knowing now what their 15 is.
Well, let's try and name the 15 then. I think we both agreed that Buttler and Salt are opening.
Yeah.
I think we feel that Bairstow will be at 3.
Yeah, before we go on, I think England have gone from looking at the players in the list to actually how are we gonna hit the World Cup, and I think that's power at the top. So 1, 2, and 3 will be the power play players, where they go ultra aggressive in the power play. They've got 2, for me, they'll have 2 players in the middle order for all situations, like what Shai Hope's done. The 6 hitting all-rounders in the middle, which served them well during the last T20 World Cup victory. And I think this is the most important thing, and this is where they've been lacked in this series. I think they need a new ball bowler who can take wickets, and one of them new ball bowlers has to bowl at the death, and I think that's where Archer comes into it. So I think that will be the game plan, the template that Buttler and Mott and Key and Luke Wright and the management team look to try and fill the 15 players with. I think that will be the game plan.
I should say, by the way, that Moti was named player of the match today. Phil Salt was named player of the series. We are going to be looking back, and Sam Ellard, Cameron Ponsonby are going to be releasing a podcast tomorrow as well. That'll be available via the following on podcast feed. We will talk about this game as well, but we're just trying to put together our squad. So Livingston at 4. Does he retain that place at 4?
No, not for me. Stokes at 4. I'm going Salt, inked in. Buttler, inked in.
Yep.
Bairstow, inked in at 3.
Agreed.
Stokes at 4.
Right.
Brook at 5.
Okay, so they're going to change things around then?
Yeah, but I don't think they're changing things around. I just think they've tried somebody because that one key component is not there, which is Ben Stokes. Okay. And Livingston for me would be at 6. Okay.
Well, I think we're agreed there. Does Ali play?
Yeah, I was about to ask that. Yeah.
For me, I'm looking at it's that Ali Curran role. Depending on surfaces, depending on areas, I think one or the other. I'm trying to work out how I can get them both in my side, and if anything, you're basically saying it's Ali, Livingston, and Curran for 2 spots in my team, with Archer, Rashid, Wood, and Topley. I think Reece Topley has to play.
Let's break away from this. Let's head out to the middle. Sam Ellers with Reece Topley.
Like I said in the ODI series, all I need to do for my team is win games, man. And today was a different situation. Obviously, I didn't need to score at a certain rate. But the key was to stay at the end. As long as I stay at the end, I'm sure we're going to win the game.
And was that your mentality throughout? I've got to just bat through here, and if I do that, we win.
Yeah, we know that we got very good strikers in the team. We needed someone to really play as deep as possible, and that was my role today. From the halfway stage, the guys told me to just bat all the way to the end. As long as I do that, we're going to win the game.
We've seen England in the last couple of games bat incredibly well. To restrict them to 133, how much credit do you have to give to the bowlers? And was it hard to bat out there early on? Did it look like a hard wicket to get going on?
It definitely wasn't the same wicket as last game, I can tell you that for sure. It was a bit up and down, a bit too pace, and some of the balls are keeping a bit low. But I must commend the bowlers for the effort that they put in. Having to bounce back after those last 2 games, we really took a beating the last 2 games. So to see the guys come back and play the way they did, I must commend them for sure.
What were the conversations over the past couple of days after a couple of defeats? What did Rodman say to the team?
We had a pretty long meeting, and we discussed some specific plans, especially to Salty. We said if we couldn't let them get off in the power play, that was the main focus today, to try to restrict the power play, control the power play. And we saw that the trend was, as long as we control the power play, then we found ourselves in good stead going on for the rest of the game, and we usually come out victorious at the end of that.
You've beaten England, who are the T20 world champions. There's a T20 World Cup here in 6 months' time. A little smile on your face there. I bet you already can't wait for that. And as we know, West Indies in World Cups, you guys know how you either don't qualify or you win it, really, don't you? That's what you guys do, right?
Hey, that's cheeky. But yeah, you're right, man. Anytime a World Cup is here, we're always up for the challenge, you know. It's good to see we're here. We're playing in front of our home crowd this time around. And with the way we're playing our cricket, just a few things we need to work on and shape up on. But I can see us picking at the right time, and we're going to have a great tournament coming up in a few months.
It feels like everyone in the Caribbean, though, is well and truly behind this team. Do you get that impression that, you know, people are sitting up and going, oh, hang on a minute, Russell's back, the big boys are here. Do you get that impression when you're out and about the streets?
Most definitely. I'm feeling a different vibe, man. The West Indian people, they always come out and support, but I can feel a different buzz now. It seems as though they're really, really out behind us. I can feel that. I can feel as though there's a 12th man out there. And as long as we keep that same energy coming through, we're going to give them some hope of winning something, hopefully in the next 6 months.
You made a great impression on the English media, by the way, and England fans. We say very good player, very good man, and also very good looking as well.
I don't know about the last one, but thanks, man. Thanks, buddy.
And also as well, this year's over now, but you've got some exciting things personally coming up as well, don't you? Obviously, you're going to go to the IPL, we've got the World Cup, and then the big one, Yorkshire for a couple of weeks, right?
Well, I'm not sure about that last one, but yeah, any opportunity that I get now, I'm very thankful. For the last few months, I've been playing well, and it's nice to see that the teams are actually looking at my progress. Happy to thank my supporters so far, people that really pushed me to the point where I am. And just want to keep growing, man. Keep growing.
Final question. I know you got a lot of people to go and see. Sum up the last couple of weeks. What does this mean to you and the West Indies?
It's a great step in the right direction. Something that we've been talking about a lot, but it's hard to speak, but you want to make the actions speak louder than those same words that we're speaking about. I'm just happy to see the guys growing, man. Really and truly. You can see the fight, you can see the determination, the effort, the focus that we have. The planning is great, the prep is great. We just need to continue executing more and more consistently, and we're going to be a strong team.
That was Shai Hope speaking with the cheeky Sam Ellard, and he says that all the journalists are talking about how good looking he is, but actually it wasn't. It was just Sam and Cameron Ponsonby on a podcast about a week ago, basically debating who was the best looking cricketer in both England and the West Indies. I mean, it's well, I think I'm not sure your mic was on there, but no, Sam Ellard wouldn't feature in the list of best-looking journalists. It might just be too loud in my cans. I think your microphone was on. So where were we with the squad? We got to about the Moeen Ali, Sam Curran conundrum. Rashid's in, of course. I mean, the fast bowling, if Wood and Archer are back, actually looks pretty rude, doesn't it? You've got because Topley is picking up wickets and he's looking dangerous, and he's got left arm, and he's about 10'10". You know, he is a quality individual. He did it again today. Sam Curran at the death. That's where we're going to bowl him. I mean, do you bowl him there when Archer and Topley are in there? Well, you have the option to.
Yeah, for me, I'd have Archer, Wood and Topley as my three seamers. I'm picking Sam Curran to bowl 2 death overs and bat him at number 7. Then he's fighting with Moeen Ali for a spot. Is Moeen Ali fighting with Liam Livingstone for a spot? I think Liam Livingstone probably inks in at number 6. But when you look at the rest of it, I think Archer bowls that brilliant 2 at the start, 2 at the end, very, very well. Topley 3 at the start. You can get 1 out of him in the middle if you need to, and you have somebody like Mark Wood to come on just as the power play finishes, and then you have a Wood. I would have a Wood and Rashid combination leading into them death overs of sort of 13, 14, 15, 16 of Rashid and Wood, where you're having players trying to take liberties with 92, 93 mile an hour, and one of the best leg spinners in world cricket at this moment in time. So when you look at it like that, it's all easy on paper. The big conundrum is, can you keep Wood fit? More importantly, can you keep Archer fit? And I think another one, even more importantly, can you keep Topley fit to get them to June? Mention about how long away June is for the West Indies, but for them 3 cricketers especially, that's a long time away.
Okay, Matt, what about you in terms of the squad and the team? West Indies as close as they can possibly be right now?
I think West Indies still have some issues that they need to resolve. Namely, their opening pair it's not firing like they'd want it to fire. Across this series, I mean, King had an 82, but Carl Mayers hasn't fired. Is Johnson Charles the person to replace Carl Mayers? There's question marks there. I think the middle order from Pooran at 3, so what is it? Pooran, Hope, Powell, Rutherford. That's probably a lock at this stage. Shimron Hetmeyer is going to have to do something extraordinary to work his way back into this side. He may be in the squad, but he's certainly not in the side. Romario Shepherd is in this team when he comes back. But where West Indies, where their biggest question marks come, whereas with England, provided people are fit, you can go right. Jofra Archer, everyone wants Jofra Archer. Mark Wood, Topley, and there's players to come back that make a difference. I'm worried about West Indies bowling. I think a lot hinges on, maybe even too much, hinges on Gudakesh Motie and Akeal Hussain to control games. And then the other problem West Indies have got is it's a bit samey, right? So you've got Andre Russell, right arm, medium. I know he can be a bit quicker, but medium fast. Jason Holder, right arm, medium fast. Romario Shepherd, right arm, medium fast.
Alzari Joseph.
Alzari Joseph and O'Shane Thomas. West Indies need to make a decision that is it better to go in with 2 out-and-out quicks and then your cadre of medium-fast players. So they will have to make a difficult decision. Really and truly, Jason Holder, Andre Russell and Romario Shepherd, it should be 3 people fighting for 2 positions. They can't all or shouldn't all be playing in the same team. And then lastly, which I'll just end with, England have a left-arm seamer in Reece Topley. I think this West Indies attack needs a left-arm seamer. You have to have variety, and I think if you come under pressure like England put them under pressure in the 3rd and the 4th T20, if you've got the same thing coming at you, it's very easy for a game to get out of control in that situation.
What's Sheldon Cottrell up to?
It's going to be Sheldon Cottrell or Obed McCoy, I would imagine, but neither one is in the best form. But as Harmy says, there's 7 months to go, so there's still a long time for things to get better or unravel.
It'll be unravelling, won't it? But the West Indies do get up for the big events. I mean, when they play. Sam actually had it right, didn't he?
Yeah, and to be fair, Darren Sammy has to take a lot of credit. When Darren Sammy got I don't know if the listeners know this, but when Darren Sammy got the head coach's job, it wasn't met with unanimous agreement in the Caribbean, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, I was going to say, is anything ever met unanimously?
Some people in some quarters in the media, they felt he did not have the requisite coaching credentials to be taken on the job as big as the West Indies. But if there's something that Darren Sammy does have the credentials in, it's taking a disparate collection of players from all around the region who all have their different cultural sensibilities, as we saw in 2012 and then in 2016 in the T20 World Cup. He's a good manager, and I think that's the biggest impact he's had on this West Indies team.
Let's head back to the ground. Sam Elliott with the England skipper Jos Buttler.
I thought it was a great effort with the ball. Obviously, the wicket was different to the one the other day. Obviously, 260 and then only scoring 130 today. I thought, if we could have put 160 on the board, would have really challenged the West Indies. But I thought with the ball, it was a great effort to take it as far as we did and stay in the game for as long as we could.
Why do you think it was quite tricky out there early on for the batsmen? How did you find it early on?
I think just a bit slower than the other day. Obviously, a used wicket. I think it plays a little bit differently in the daytime as well to under the lights. But just a used wicket. But sometimes that's what you're presented with, and you've got to find ways to adapt. And we have to ask ourselves as a team, could we have found a way to score that extra 25 or 30 runs, which would have, I think, been a good score.
There's a World Cup here in 6 months' time, so I guess 5 valuable matches for yourself and Matt Mott. What have you learned about your team?
Yeah, I think learned lots. Obviously, Phil Salt's had an outstanding series at the top of the order. I think the intent that he plays with is all that we want to be as a team, and obviously the results he's had doing that. To score back-to-back hundreds and be as consistent as he has been brilliant. It's been great to have a look at Rash and Rayan bowling in the same lineup, those kind of things, and I think just gaining valuable time out here. And obviously we wanted to win the series, and it's important that we make sure we take the learnings and get better as a team.
We know it's been a long year. We know it's been a tricky couple of months. maybe this is more of a football phrase than a cricket phrase, Josh, but sometimes players can down tools and sort of almost, throw in the towel if you like. But at 2-0 down, though, how proud are you of this group of lads after a long year to fight, not just execute their skills well, but to fight for the badge? How much does that mean for you as captain, the fight these lads have showed?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a given in an England shirt, and it's a testament to the group. We've stayed together, we've hung tough. It's been tricky at times, but we had some new guys here as well for this trip. We've brought great energy to the team, and having guys like Freddie Flintoff around us gives a lift to everyone. So to come back from 2-0 down, if we could have won today, would have been a fantastic turnaround, but we showed a lot of strength of character. And overall, as a captain, you think you're going to come out into 2024 a better captain, a better captain, if you like, I guess? Yeah, absolutely. I think that's important. Anytime, you're always learning, I think. I still feel like my best batting is ahead of me in my career, and I feel like I can just get better and better as a captain. So lots to look forward to. But I guess the way you batted in the last couple of games in particular must fill you with a bit of confidence. Yeah, absolutely. I've batted like that for a long time in T20 cricket, so it's nice to remind myself I'm still a good player, but I always want to get better. I want to be a better player, so that's what I'll be looking to do in 2024.
Okay, so getting better in 2024. That was Sam Ello with Josh Butler. Big thanks to Sam, who's been out there for TalkSport for the last 3.5 weeks. It sounds like an easy gig, but he's certainly put in the yards. We're going to wrap up, gents, very briefly. Your overriding thoughts from the series, Mash?
West Indies went into this T20 series needing to continue the momentum. And I guess when you have a series victory like this, it's further evidence that the journey that they're on is the right journey, and it means more people buy into what is going on. But let's see. Up next is Australia in a T20 series away. Let's see what goes on there.
We haven't got rights to that one. I'm quite pleased about that, actually. Harmy, and your thoughts from a series? England lost both series.
Yeah, England
they
lost
haven't
both.
had a good 2023. They haven't won a great deal. George DeBell's just tweeted, I think the only thing they've won this year is a test match against Ireland and an ODI series against the same nation. But briefly, your thoughts?
Yeah, a lot of questions went into this series. I think we've had a lot of answers, some positive, some negative. I think Matthew Mott, Josh Butler and Rob Key know their 15 going to the Caribbean and America, and I think that for me is positive because the roles that needed filling, I think, got filled.